Fine. I'm just ducky, and Mark is still having some internet connection issues. He was trying to connect earlier just before from his home, and inside the house wasn't having good connection. So I don't know if he was moving outside or not, but he'll probably be joining us right now, and we'll see if he's any better.
No,
How you
saying
doing?
I'm bailing on the hotspot. Just going to try it from the data.
That may be better. Yeah. Well, we had ourselves a weekend.
Looks not great.
No, well, Mark's still
Welcome to
recovering.
hurricane season.
Yeah, I mean, there, but I mean, nice thing was that even with that, this community still came together. And we hit a number. We hit our 50,000. I was blown away. I honestly am. I did not. I will be honest. I was very doom and gloom about us hitting the $50,000 mark. I honestly didn't think it was going to happen.
Yeah.
And I was amazed the way that it came together and everybody stepped up. And thank you, everyone in the community. The international community was strong. The U.S. community looking strong. Everybody just killing it. And the generosity. So many people picking things up in the name, bidding up things in the name of charity, buying them, then turn around and giving them to the people that they were bidding up. There's lots of instances of that. It's just absolutely amazing to see. So thank you guys all so much. But we're not done. So
the generosity was mind blowing.
Oh yeah,
it really was, man.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, go ahead, Bo.
Well, I was just going to say I'd never watched it before. So this is, as I've mentioned previously, this is the first year that I've been any part of it. And I didn't realize how long the streams were going to go, how the whole thing was, right? And I was instantly regretting it, because if I'd known how much was on offer and how much content there was going to be and everything, next year, brother, you're going to believe I'm putting some money away. Like I'm putting some money away.
Taking the days off, and sleeping for 24 hours before the.
When Mad Spidey turned around and goes, "I'm taking Monday off," I'm like, really? Like, come on, man. And then I saw your stream, and I'm like, that's a whole shift. Of course, he took Monday off.
Big shout, Flo Dameron says, "We are Legion," dropping that $4.99 super chat. Thank you so much there, Flo. Appreciate you. Yeah, no, I mean, it's so funny. It's because, like, somebody was reaching out to me over the weekend, over that time period, and was asking me if I would come on. Said, "Oh, hey, I got this new show I'm doing on Sunday. Can you? I'd love it if you could stop by just for a few minutes." And I was like, "Oh, yeah, I'm really sorry. I got the auction thing going on," and their response made it sound like they were like thinking I was like trying to give I was dismissing them, and then I didn't care, and I was like, "Oh, no, it's not that I don't want to be there. I'm happy to be on the show. I'm just literally going to be in the middle of live streaming then." Right. And at first I thought, well, maybe I will be able to be done, because it was going to be like 3 hours after we started the auction, and foolish me, I'm like, "Oh, we moved all the art out of the main auction. Maybe. And so I told them, well, maybe I'll listen. But I was after like 2 hours in, and I still had an hour to go, and I knew where we were at on the list. I was like, "Oh," pinging him, going, "Dude, I'm sorry. This is another 7.5 hours." Or that main auction, 7.5 hours. That's even after we removed all the art from it. That's crazy.
Yeah.
And
I really appreciated how you said at the end of your last stream, people that that didn't spend that much but spent a little bit, that might have been all that you had. So we really appreciate you. I Up until that speech, I was like, oh man, like I've only given what was it, $50 American, which is, and at the time it was literally half of what I had in the bank.
No,
And I
no.
went, thank you for acknowledging that.
No. Not everybody can. Not everybody can come in there and splash the pot and bid on all those items and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And that's why we try to mix up the auction as well too, with a variety of price, things at different price points throughout it and stuff, so people can remain active throughout, and it just doesn't become a let's watch these couple people who are in more fortunate situations. Obviously, Mark would have loved to have been there, but we have a whole section of the country that had more important things going on than attending an auction and stuff. So
it was really fantastic.
Yeah, no, it absolutely. I'm glad that you got to experience it and you enjoyed it, even though it was at really odd hours for you, especially the main auction. But
yeah, I think the only one I didn't get to see was Izzy's show. Actually, no, there was probably about maybe 3 or 4 shows that I didn't get to see. But with your last one that went for like 8 hours, I did my best to have it on as long as I could, even just muted sometimes in the corner of my desk while I was working.
Right.
I got to see a lot of it though.
Yeah. Let's say hello to some people here who want to say hi. They want to say hi to Mark and such. Salutations, my comic book brothers from Freaky Louie. How you doing, Freaky? I'm so glad that Freaky was able to get a couple ASM books that from the auction stuff there. I know that some of them were on his list for a while, so I'm glad he was able to get some books there. Paul Morales stopped by to say hello. Of course, Flo Dameron said that Legion's back, baby. Sort of. Yeah, Legion says, because Mark says, I'm half-ass back. 2 weak signals. Yeah. He said it's so weak that he had to say it twice to make sure it went through. And let's see, we got Flo again saying, hope everyone's family is safe during these times. Yeah, especially everyone, not everyone in the path of Helen, but then this most recent one through Florida too. That's pretty crazy. Mark has sort of internet. He's on his phone, and it's spotty. So that's why he's outdoors and he's frozen a lot of the time.
Sucking on his thumb.
Yeah, well, he's trying to participate the best he can. It looks like an old man's profile pic. Let's see. This is 127 hours. Need a sequel? No. Let's see. I'm supposed to get internet today. Nice. Much love, pimps and legends from the Durs. Thank you, sir. Yeah, no. So we still have more things too that are coming down the pipeline for C3 for this year. Still, it's like I was communicating to the American Cancer Society not to close the portal, because like they have a tendency to want to close the portal the second like the event's over. And I'm like, oh, I still got stuff trickling in. I got this. We got things going on. We like to keep it open. We like to keep it open through the end of the year, and then then in January you can then flip the thing. Oh, okay. Whatever, but because we still have, DJ Lynx is going to be doing, and so he may be doing a stream with some New York Comic Con exclusives and stuff that he may be selling, and then Nick and Fable, who were originally going to be doing that time slot that you stepped up and joined, our train wreck of a dad joke show. Their original show, they were supposed to have that at a time which they couldn't do because of Nick's brother's passing. They're going to come back. They still have stuff that they had gathered for that show, so they're going to do basically like an encore show for us, and opportunity to raise some money. And then I have several items here, or a couple sketch covers that are going to go up on Nerdcrawler next week for auction. So they're going to be available on Nerdcrawler for everyone to potentially get a hands on, including So there was. I'll make myself big for a second. We had this one, this Dan Needlinger Captain America sketch cover.
Yeah, sweet.
That's going to go up there. The Trish Forstner Stray Dogs Ace.
Was that left out of the bundle that you had?
We had them all together as a bundle, but nobody opted on the bundle, so then we broke them up individually.
Oh,
And
right,
then,
that's right.
And then there was two of them, this one and Crypto, that did not. Nobody wanted to pay the minimum, which
How
at the
did
time was
Crypto
like,
not sell?
whatever. And then we got a new item that came Wednesday, arrived Wednesday, 3 days after the auction.
Wow, okay.
Well, it shipped from France.
Oh,
okay.
okay.
I'd been talking to the artist for a while, trying to remind them, but they didn't have the art ready. Blah blah blah. They didn't want to ship something that they already had. They wanted to do something new, and I'm all right, whatever. Of course, it didn't get here on time, so it'll go up there. And that's a piece from Stephanie Lavaud.
Oh, wow, nice. That's really cool.
Yeah, so that's awesome. So those are going to go up on Nerdcrawler, and then the nice thing is that Nerdcrawler, and then maybe I'll probably throw up. I'll see if anybody bites on the prelims on Nerdcrawler that we have too.
Yeah, cool.
But they've Nerdcrawler's allowed us to list some items there, and they going to charge us no commission fee. So it'll reach a global audience, and everything except for the taxes and shipping will be covered. Or we will be going to Comics Curing Cancer, and then because they'll allow us, we can charge for shipping, then we won't have to pay for shipping on those items, which will be nice. So,
oh, cool. I was actually wondering about that because you're always saying in these auctions that the shipping's included. So where does that money for all the shipping come out of? Is that out of your pocket?
It used to be.
Yeah.
it used to be, but now the bulk. So some of the shipping is covered out of pocket by some folks that just choose to forget. I'm not worried about it. But this year, what's different is we changed the channel monetization on my channel at the beginning of the year, where we said, hey, instead of informed all the membership, and I say the channel membership goes to support Comics Curing Cancer. And what it is, that money throughout the year that I get from the YouTube channel has been set aside. It's been logged. DJ Links, Mark, and we all can see it and track it, and we use that to cover the expenses associated with running this stuff. So we can run it from some of the expenses is covered from that and from the sales of some like the art books and stuff before it went up there, like the maybe there's some supplies, but majority of it goes to the shipping costs. So the cover, because like the first year or last year, the shipping cost out of my pocket was over $1,700. And so this allows us to do, because the portal doesn't allow us to collect shipping because it doesn't even come to us. It goes all to the ACS. So that was like the only way it was. So now the YouTube channel, it pays for it. It can reimburse the shipping, and then anything that's not spent on that. So I'm trying to be very careful about what we spend on it, because anything that we don't spend of it gets to go to, will get donated then to Comics Curing Cancer after the fact. So it's the hope is that we have several $100s that will be able to be added to that pool that goes unused from shipping. The fortunate thing is that even though the U.S. Postal Service just raised their rates for the holiday, I used Pirate Ship for my shipping, and they said that we're not going to be affected by the price increase, so I don't have to do that. Do you get tax credit for shipping? So that's a good question, Nerdy Collection. So I can take the shipping costs from last year, and I can put it on my taxes, and I did. The problem is, first of all, the tax credit is it just removes that amount from your taxable income. It's not an actual dollar for dollar reimbursement, A, and B, there's a cap, thanks to, without getting into politics, thanks to the last round, about 6 years ago, they changed the tax code and supposedly giving tax breaks to everybody, which didn't. Instead, my taxes went up dramatically, and in doing so was part of it. In fact, they put a cap on how many personal deductions you can claim, and given that I live in California, and the interest on my mortgage alone pretty much chews up the cap on personal deductions. Doesn't matter how much I donate, I don't get, the federal government doesn't give me any credit for it. So that's been a problem for a lot of charities that they've had, is that deduction limit has limited people's willingness to donate beyond a certain amount, because it's a problem. But the state of California still gives me some tax credit for it, but it's not the same. So it was just easier to sit there, and this also allows me to cover, so like GJ or Mark, or even some of the, like Izzy's got a shipment that's got to go into the UK, and I can tell him, he doesn't have a problem. Most of the guys don't have problems covering the domestic stuff. It's the international shipping, which can get super expensive. So
Yeah.
some of them are sending like their Australia stuff to me to consolidate, but some of the stuff to the UK, it doesn't make sense to have it come from the East Coast to me, so that way I can ship it back east and everything else. And so it's just, if it's something like a sketch cover or something, it's easier just to say, you know what, I'll just send me the receipt and we'll reimburse you.
Do you ever get people, I doubt you would, but I got to ask, do you ever get people that hassle you of where's my stuff that I bid on?
Absolutely, which is a great segue. Thank you. Just a reminder for anybody who has did get items from Comics Curing Cancer. While items are going to ship from multiple locations, and so you may receive multiple shipments. DJ's obviously had a few items and was shipping right away, so he'll get that shipped out to you. You should be getting that stuff shortly. Mark obviously hadn't even had the opportunity to build the mystery boxes yet. So if you bought a Legion of Comics mystery box, those will be delayed a little bit. And then all the stuff that I have in my location, the goal is as I usually say, is to give us 2 weeks. The goal is to try to get it all shipped out next week. Right now I have everything is tagged and sorted by YouTuber, and so now it's just going to be this weekend. My son and I are pulling and packing orders, so we can ship during the week. So that's the majority of it. There always is a few items where we go like, oh, we need a specialty box, because although I have a lot of boxes that I order boxes, even brand new boxes and stuff, for certain sizes that I know I need, but there's always something that's odd that comes up that you go, oh, okay, well, I need to go acquire a specialty box for something. So yeah, I just ask everyone to be patient on the shipping and stuff. It'll all come out shortly. Although there are a couple people that, there's 2 people in particular that I don't have addresses for. I don't know who they are. And so we're going to be trying to reach out we've been trying to reach out so far amongst just the show people, to see if anybody knows who they are. Like one of them I know is somebody, a YouTuber named Wicked Prune, and they don't even have they have a channel, but they don't have content even. And I can't find them on Instagram necessarily, so I don't know who they are, and I can't match what they bought against donations that came in specifically. So it's
so strange, isn't it, that you that you'd bid on something to win it, and not follow through on that. I can understand just a random donation, but
well, there are some random. So the thing is, with a person like this, they could have paid for it. But they put their, they enter in their legal name. and they didn't make a comment as to what their YouTube name is. I don't
Yeah.
know who Wicked Prune is.
Yeah.
I can go through the list of donations on that day, and I can try to find it. I can look at the one at the roughly that dollar amount, but I can't find a name that matches up or an amount that matches up properly. And sometimes that's because somebody combined, and this is where it's really complicated. Some folks combined, they saved a couple items and paid all at once. So now that dollar amount isn't anywhere near what I'm looking for when I'm trying to reconcile the sheet against individuals. So when it's somebody I don't know, it makes it really complicated. I mean, I don't know. The whole thing, if you can imagine, the longest part, it took me a whole day to get a packing list together, because
Oh, yeah.
you have a list of, I have a CSV file of every donation and stuff that people put in, but people put in, even sometimes people have multiple email addresses. They put their name in differently on their donations, everything else. So even when you try to sort them, they don't always, all their donations don't even align, right? And then we got all these bids across all these different shows, where sometimes we've entered in their legal name if we know them by their legal name. Sometimes we've entered in their YouTube name. Sometimes we shorthand their YouTube name, so instead of like Nick's Kicks and Comics, we wrote just Nick's Kicks. Sometimes, and so you've got to in order to try to consolidate all that together and match everything up, you've got to first go through and make all the names consistent, and then
Jeez,
cross
what an
reference. So
effort.
then, so you can pull this stuff together. It's a hoot. Not
It's a
really.
hoot.
Yeah. So let's say some more stuff. So let's go on in here. Comic Cap Collectibles Rich, good morning. Mike's, good morning. Let's see here. Yeah, time to go up with the Ross booth for NYCC. Get everything shipped. Okay, cool. Stephen C., good morning. The Legionnaires. Joe, Anachronic Comics. Hey, everyone. Let's see here. Gamma Rays Comics. Good morning. Yep. So Joe, yep, thank you. We appreciate you making it. Yeah, paying those things individually makes things easier. It does. Um, Promiscuous Time Traveler, Kyle, good morning. So, yeah. Anyway, so C3 done for now. Well, not for me. I mean, it's been. I just
It's
finally
never over for you.
last night I finally got everything out of the living room. So now everything is moved, because in my living room I had multiple folding tables set up because everything was staged, and my wife was on the other side of the camera, and my son throughout the event were constantly. They had a list I had given them where they were grabbing things and bringing things to me and taking things and setting them up, so everything got put ready to go. So it's been moved to the garage so we can get everything packed and shipped this weekend, or get everything hopefully packed this weekend, so we can ship it next week.
Yeah.
And I should be able to return to my normal YouTube schedule. So I did not. This week I was like, oh, nope, I'm not. I had no content this week. I know. I was like, oh, you know.
I think that's pretty normal though.
Yeah. I didn't have anything in the can ready to air ahead of time, and I just said, what, forget it. I have plenty of watch hours after C3.
That's right. How much did the first appearance of Punisher go for?
I think it was either 900 or just barely over 900.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah.
God, that's a steal.
Yeah, it's a good deal. I mean, it one of that grade, signed by the same artist, except in a CBCS slab, had sold the month before for $1,000. So,
God, okay.
so you could say that it was like a 10% savings for somebody. So
Jeez,
it was very much in the ballpark. We're very happy with that. So
okay.
yeah. When's the leftover sale? The only real thing that's left over are the pieces of art, and they're going to be going up on Nerdcrawler probably next week. Hello,
What's-
Izzy?
artist. Izzy, how are you?
Good morning. Or good morning, Legion Lair.
That's
You know,
right.
Now that Izzy's here, I'll be back in just one sec.
Just like that. He you see how that works?
He's all, I've been keeping Rob company so he's not by himself.
How's it going, Rob? How you feeling, bro?
I'm happy to have all this stuff out of my garage or out of my living room. And I feel really good in that fact that, so I went through, as I was going through everything, all the slabs have been grouped together by who's, been grouped and tagged as to whose order they are, and they're put in the order of my pull sheet in the boxes, and all the same thing with the all the raw books and everything's tagged with Post-its and stuff now.
Yeah.
So this weekend, my son and I would go out to the garage, and it's finally cool. It's in the mid 70s instead of 100 degrees like it was last week. So the garage will be tolerable to work in. And so we can go out there, and we should be able to very easily now pull the orders because they're pretty much laid out. And then I can start boxing stuff and get it ready to go, with the exception of obviously Australia will be the last to get their stuff, because not only does it take forever to ship stuff there, but it's not just you. I've got you and a couple other people that are sending me stuff to consolidate.
Yeah.
So
this guy Omnibo, he wanted a piece, so I had to give him do that.
And I expected it last week.
Hell no.
overnight shipping.
Look at what it did to me. It gave me tinnitus. I ended up getting tinnitus as a result of drawing for such long periods of time.
Welcome to my world.
Dude, I'm an old man too, so you forget that part.
I have golfers and tennis elbow and tendonitis in my wrist and my fingers.
I got arthritis on my knees.
Yeah.
So I got that going for it.
And I can't pass.
What else I got? I also got what is it? I got carpal tunnel, but I haven't had a series of carpal tunnel in a very long time, so I'm very grateful for that. But yeah,
I'm going to a chiropractor twice a week now because of this that thing that I've gotten for the last 4 months now that won't go away.
4 months. Wait till you get.
Hey, it's got to start sometime.
You gotta live with it. Then you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like when you wake up in the morning, it's like, and when you wake up in the morning, you're supposed to feel better, and instead you feel worse. You're like,
Taylor, actually. So, excuse me. Aside from some sketch covers and the art preliminaries, everything ended up selling. So all the pages from the art book ended up selling.
Awesome, because I didn't get. That's the one I didn't get to see. I didn't get to see.
Yeah,
no, I did. I did see the Thor piece go, but what I didn't see was the Batman book.
The Batman. Oh,
yeah, the Gotham Gaslight.
Oh yeah, that sold. But it's like these it's like these Paco Medina preliminaries.
Oh, okay. I could
I
hate to admit it, but I could understand.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's the way they were. It was like 4 pages of them here, and or warm-ups even potentially, and we were only asking $25 for all 4 pages. But
25 for all 4 pages?
Yep.
Holy crap.
That was the starting bid, and nobody wanted. And that's probably this is probably the one that's the coolest, because it's Taskmaster, Captain America, Spider-Boy all together on 1 page. So that's fine. We'll put those up on Nerdcrawler. The 2 Trish Forstner Stray Dogs, because those had a starting bid of $75, which, as you know, if you try to get a Trish Forstner commission, that's just a steal at $75. But you know what? We had a lot of stuff that was there, and people had limited funds, so there is always that's a fully thing that we battle. This will go up on Nerdcrawler, and then we had 1 new item come in and that's this Star Wars annual Darth Vader drawing from Stephanie Lavad. This just arrived on Wednesday.
That's gorgeous.
Yeah. So she had this. She was sending it from France, and it took longer to get here than she had hoped.
And it's French.
Yes,
it's
It's French.
Oui. So the question is, what is Nerdcrawler? That's a great question. So Nerdcrawler is a comic book art auction site. So it's not just people can put stuff up, but it's a lot of the stuff is actually direct from artists. So a lot of artists post their items up there, whether they're professional artists or not, but it allows them to post their art and sell it direct to people. So there's a lot of, if you're like a comic book art collector, there's a lot of big art germs on there. Trying to think of some of the other artists off the top of my head. I can't remember. I haven't been there I just learned about them recently. We were introduced to them by the guys from Comic Capsule. Lawrence from Comic Capsule, who lives near me, when he was dropping off all the comic capsules they donated, talked to me about Nerdcrawler, because the guy who runs Nerdcrawler is here in the Bay Area as well. Gave us kind of like an electronic handshake, and he agreed basically to say, hey, here's what we'll do is we'll create an account for you. I'll make you a verified seller, and he went out and used us as an opportunity. There were some artists that he had been trying to court to come on to Nerdcrawler, and so he reached out to them and said, hey, if you want to try it out, put up a piece for Comics Curing Cancer and see how it goes. And we did have 2 pieces that artists donated that were exclusively available on Nerdcrawler on a 3-day auction that sold, and those 2 pieces raised like $200 and something for us. And then the actually more than that, close to 300. And then for us, any of the art items that we weren't able to sell, we are able to list them on Nerdcrawler to a global audience, and Nerdcrawler's not charging us a commission fee. They're waiving the commission fee.
That's what I was wondering.
Yeah, they're waiving the commission fee for us, so that way 100% of the sale price goes to us, and they just make the payment right directly into the portal once it's paid for. The art's paid for. And so only thing that doesn't come to us is the shipping charge that they charge, which allows us to charge for shipping on it, and the tax, and the applicable sales tax that's collected. So that's cool. So it was a nice backup. So that allowed us to be on a couple of these things, like these Trish Forstner things, to say, hey, we're willing to give you a deal at $75 for them, but we're not going to sit there and drop the price to $35 just to move it type of thing, because you're getting the first chance at these things if you want them. Otherwise, we'll put them up there. I know that I can go list it as an auction starting at $75 on Nerdcrawler and probably get way more than that.
Yeah.
So shout out to them. We appreciate that.
Yeah, and that's the thing. You don't want to like, yes, it's an auction. Yes, you want to give the best bang for your buck, I guess, for it. But you don't want to shortchange somebody's artwork. I know in my case and some of the guys that did our shows, we were selling stuff at like ridiculously low prices. Like this guy Bo, he bought this Venom piece for way less than he should have, even though he should spend at least $200 on the piece. But besides that, but the reality of it is our point was more on the lines of being able to give people art that normally they can't buy anywhere else. So we
really appreciate the artists who come on these shows that are willing to make some of the art of starting bid price on the art knowingly well below market prices, to start with, as for charity, knowing that it's for charity. And obviously we always hope that it goes up, bids up higher, but if somebody gets it, hey, that's fine. I know I got some good pieces, and as I've dabbled more and more in especially sketch covers, but I've looked at art pages and stuff, I know what I had a better idea of what some of these things go for, and was overall I was overall somewhat happy, especially with our art pages that we had, the original pages. I thought we did very well on those, and we had some, you know, some really nice pages actually. But yeah, these sketch covers, I mean,
You missed out on this one.
I don't have an Izzy Spider Gwen, but I remember you talking about it. But
I tell you what, Rob. We'll call it here. I do have another Spider Gwen book if you're interested.
down the road, maybe.
But here's the point. Here's my point.
Mhm.
It'll be for C3.
Yeah, no, I appreciate
the proceed. The proceed will be for C3.
I appreciate it. Right now, actually, I've got a few things stacked up waiting in the queue.
So
There was a lot of artists that contributed stuff that I was like, "Ooh, I want to get something from you. I want to get something from you that I don't have any pieces from." That now I'm like, okay,
well, in my show, since my show was an early show, right? So
right,
4:00 my time and your time. What 1:00 your time was it or something like that?
yep.
Somebody I know who it was grabbed an Austin LeMay Optimus, which looked amazing.
Oh, DVH.
DVH grabbed it for $40. That's how much we were. That's how much our prices were. It was like crazy Eddie prices.
Oh, I know. I got a piece. Even like on the overnight stuff, I got a piece off on K-pop show that people at the time they were just flipping through. So one of the guys had a stack of ready done books there, and they were flipping through to see what people were interested in. People got fixated on this Street Fighter character that I don't even know, because I stopped after Street Fighter 3 and apparently it's from Street Fighter 4. And
you mean they didn't make like another Street Fighter 2, like the Last Crusade or whatever they called that thing?
They didn't just keep calling everything Street Fighter 2 to the
you remember that time, right? There was like a good 10-15 years
the tournament edition, the turbo edition,
the championship turbo edition.
yeah. But I saw there was a book that they were flipping through that was a Demona, and I thought, oh wow, that's beautiful. And I just threw it out there, said, well, I'd be willing to bid starting bid of $75 on the Demona, even though their starting bids were way below that. I was like, oh, $75 is still way under value for what, because this guy was a regular artist, and I know what those things go for, but I thought somebody else might chime in. No, nobody did. So I ended up picking up this piece for $75 for my wife. And she's like, she happened to walk in while I was watching it. She said, oh, that's a beautiful Demona. I said, yeah, I'm currently high bidder on it for you. She's like, oh, thank you.
So my nerdy collection, if you need more sketch covers, there's plenty. There's plenty to go.
Sketch covers have really become like I really enjoy them. I love getting, I always liked the idea of original art and getting commissioned art, but I don't have wall space for 11 by 17. I don't want to have folders full of art somewhere that I got to try to store and everything else. I already have storage set up for comic books. So to me, getting sketch covers was like, that was the thing. It allows me to get that, the piece of original art from an artist or something, but in a format that I can easily store and appreciate and stuff. So for me, it's been great. It is something that will range in price dramatically, depending upon the artist. Obviously, how well known the artist is, whether or not they're a published artist, or whether or not what you're getting, what you're getting done, whether it's just pencils and inks, full color, is it character, just a head sketch, full figure, does it have a background? All those different things come into play. But for the most part, most of the commissions I've gotten have been usually in the $100 to $175 range.
They're fairly. I would say that as far as original art goes, they're fairly inexpensive, even for like the top guys out there. Because you know what, it's a sketch cover, right? And as a sketch cover, the key word here is sketch. It's not like a final piece. It's not. They're not devoting devoting hours upon hours, even though some people do. For the most part, they're taking up maybe an hour or two of their time to do it. So they're looking at it from, I guess, for many of these guys, they're looking at it from a perspective of how much would I charge hourly if I was to do this piece, and then of course throw in like little things here, color, headshot
Yeah.
versus bot.
Yeah, the most I've
little
ever
things like that.
spent, the most I've spent is my Bill Morrison piece,
Mhm.
where I spent $400, but that was 2 figures, full
Yep.
figures, full color on
Mhm.
on the thing, and it was, I still think it was, well, it was Con rates, and he's an in demand popular artist
Mhm.
for his stuff, and so, it was a idea that had been set in my head by Becker so long ago that I've been like chewing on this idea for a sketch cover for so long that it was like I was like, oh, whatever, okay, fine, just do it. I want to get this thing.
Get it over with.
But I've had some that were also so cheap that I was like, oh, you're insane. Like, we had I had one at Heroes that the artist, I wish I could remember his name off the top of my head. I'm forgetting it right this second. That I had him do a Rocketeer, and he had quoted me $50 when I dropped off.
Well, that's
thing.
the thing. It's like some people
And-
don't know their. So here's the thing, especially when it comes to indie talent. When it comes to the indie talent, some guys don't know their worth, so they undersell,
Yeah.
thinking that no one's gonna. So it's a little bit of a confidence thing, right?
Well,
Where
this
it's like they undersell it, knowing full well deep in their heart that they should be worth more, but they just want to be able to provide it.
this guy wasn't. I'm trying to remember. I wish I remember his name. He wasn't. He wasn't like a an unknown, completely unknown indie artist. I mean, he's a published artist and everything,
Mhm.
and did some stuff for some of the big guys. And he just had a really classic retro style to him, which is why
Mhm.
I chose him to do my Rocketeer cover.
Mhm.
And but yeah, when I dropped off the book, he was like, "Oh, it'll be like $50," and I was like, "Oh, I must have heard that wrong." And when I
Yeah.
went back to pay him, he's like, "Oh yeah, no, $50." I was like, "Yeah, no, no, no." I was like, "Yeah, here's 100." It's like, no,
That's
no.
that's awfully nice of you. And then there's these other guys that
Well,
think they're
$100
artists.
was still a good deal. Still a good
No,
deal
but
for.
yeah, but there's these other guys that think they're artists, and I'm not talking about Jim Lee. Jim Lee, I think he
Oh,
deserves the price tag that he gets.
well, he does only because he's so in demand, and so
Exactly, and he's Jim Lee. You know what I mean?
he's at the point where he's pricing stuff at a
Mhm.
point to limit how many things come in
Yeah.
because he is in such demand otherwise.
There's also this resell ability issue that a
Yeah.
lot of these artists go through, especially like the guys like the Jim Lees, the Art Adams, and stuff like that, where they there's this okay, you're gonna buy this piece. Are you really buying it for yourself, or you're planning to flip this? So I'm gonna get my money's worth. You know what I'm saying? So there's a little bit of that going on. Give me 1 second, guys.
I just sent you a photo, Rob, of a commission, probably my most expensive one.
Yeah.
I got a Filipino artist to do every Spider-Man character that had ever existed, and I got a female to do all the females, and this is about 15 years ago.
Oh wow!
And that's Rianne Gonzalez, who now does covers for Marvel.
Oh, I know who that. It's
Yeah.
Rianne or Ryan.
Well, I've always said Rianne, but I could be wrong. I've never actually spoken to her. We only ever spoke over, internet. But that was a massive piece, and it cost, the Spider-Men, which I'm struggling to find a photo of right now, was nearly twice the length of that.
Right, because this is 311 by 17s right here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then fully
Wow.
painted. Was
yeah. So that's not the finished one.
And connecting.
Actually, hang on.
Yeah,
I just realized
that's freaking insane.
That's not a sketch, by the way.
No,
that's art.
Actually, I just realized I can just send you these. Just going to take me a minute.
So while you're doing that, I think the whole thing of it all is like when I back in the day, but I would say in the 2000 and before, it was easy to get a sketch from artists. Like it was like you didn't have to pay for it. Like the sketchbook I showed you guys a couple of months ago, I didn't pay for a single sketch in that book. They did it because they enjoyed it and they knew that people would enjoy it. But as far as now goes, there's this concern that okay, you're gonna get this piece so you could resell it. And there's this mindset that a lot of artists are having that it's like, well, if that's the case, I'm going to up the price of my artwork so that I get my money's worth. You sell it the price you want to sell it, but I'm still going to get my share of that profit, I guess you could say. So it stinks because, like, for me, it was fun just getting sketches because that's all I wanted them for, just to say I had a sketch by this guy, a sketch by that guy, a sketch by that guy. Now it's like, I'm lucky if I get 2 or 3 sketches going to a con, to the point that I don't even take the book anymore sometimes. You know what I mean? Because it's like, do I want to spend that money for a sketch that I just want for my personal collection in my book? So
yeah,
it is
well,
what it is.
and I think a sketchbook is a little bit easier, where it's a collected thing, where somebody knows that, hey, obviously, I mean, well, you could turn around and sell it. I mean, it's less likely than individual things. Bo, I know you sent me something, but unfortunately, I can't access it on the computer. It says unsupported message. I have to use the mobile app to view it, which means I can't really share it, because I'd have to basically just hold up the.
Look at him sending you
Maybe I have to
viruses.
send it. Maybe I have to send one at a time.
No, so yeah, that's what it is. When you send pictures, if you send a group of pictures, the internet version of, or the browser version of Instagram sucks. They haven't spent the resources to build it up.
All right, we'll try this way then.
Which I always think is funny, because the argument they say is, oh, well, it's because it's easier to build apps first because it's limited apps thing. But it's really not. And instead, ooh, Jesus
$1 billion
Christ.
company, $1 million company. They should know what they're doing, or at
Oh,
least have the right resources for it.
let me see if I can.
Sorry, Rob. That's it. I didn't mean to flood you. I gave you about
Holy
6 minutes.
shit! Yeah, I mean, all right. I gotta try to save these. I gotta save these because I can't share them within the browser window. They're so small, it's not going to share. So let me try to see if I can't.
You can see I even asked him to make one of the Spider-Man me. And this is going back about 15 years ago, like I said, so there was a lot less Spider-Man costumes back then. And this is way before Spider-Verse as well.
What's up, Jim? So we need $320 to hit 55,000.
We'll get there, because there's some.
You just give me.
There's some other events. There's other events that are still to come. There's also several matching folks who've reached out to me about their matching contributions from their employers and stuff.
Awesome. So, yeah, I tried to do that, but my employer it was not listed.
Yeah.
So,
well,
even though I think they would be in some way,
you'd have to then reach out to your HR or something and say, "Hey, do we have a program for this?" And
yeah, I
know my employer does not, unfortunately, but
well, mine's is a government employer, so they're cheap.
Oh,
Jim.
It's hard to. All right, I'm getting these all saved so we can. Then I'll have to go purge them because this is my work computer. All right.
Where do you keep disappearing to, Izzy?
What was that?
Where do you keep disappearing to?
I'm eating breakfast. I don't want to. So that's why I keep disappearing. So every time the camera goes off, I'm eating. I'm like, I don't know.
Fair enough.
Taking a bite.
Yep. Exactly. Look, watch. See? So right now, at this moment, there's a piece of pancake going right into my mouth.
In your where?
Mouth.
Pancake hole.
Pancake.
This one. Okay, here we go. All right. So
Ooh, that's a little outdated already. There's missing Spider Girls.
That's what I mean. Wait, where do you see the men? There's a lot missing now.
wow.
But you have one spider dude in the corner, right? The upper left hand side. That's a
No,
dude.
no, that's from the Earth X series. That was his daughter.
Oh yes. What was his daughter's name? May, right? May Parker.
Yeah, yeah. I can't remember what she was called though in the Earth X,
But there
but
was
it was
two.
the Carnage symbiote.
So there was two versions. There was the Spider Girl version because I know I got
Yeah,
a little
and then there
sad
was
here.
Spider's Man.
Yeah, Spider's Man. So this is the one I got. This is the Spider Girl from the Earth.
Oops.
He just kicked
Sorry.
me out.
No, I was trying to move.
Oh yeah, right.
So that was from
I've
the Earth.
seen a Spider's Man
Yeah.
of one of those that I've always
Yeah.
wanted to get, but it's like
Yeah.
a few $100.
Yeah. It was a
All right,
fun
let's
series.
see.
I really like that series.
Yeah, me too.
It's an underrated series too. That's the thing that stinks
Yeah.
about it. It's like
It's missing.
I thought it was great.
Is missing also the anime from Renew Your Vows.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Now we can just go all day, man. Because every time
Spinneret. There you go. That's
yes, oh,
yeah.
or the princess one, the one that's supposed to be like a princess spider.
it.
Hey,
Spider Girl.
after the Spider-Verse comics, there's no way you get them all now.
That's cool.
Wow, and it still goes off the. I mean, you're off the page screen here, but yeah.
Wow.
Oh yeah, because it continues.
All these Spider-Men and Jonah Jameson. I love it.
Yeah,
But I love how you got this version.
Lizard?
The Bagman Spider-Man.
Yeah.
They gave him a title. I forgot what they
yeah.
titled
The bombastic Bagman.
Bombastic. Yeah, Bombastic Bagman.
Yeah.
That was a
At the
fun story.
time, I swear this was not like I think there might be another sheet that's missing towards the left, but this was every Spider-Man that was around.
Mhm.
Different costumes and all that. Because to me, it was revolutionary. When I went to the artist, I'm like, okay, here's my idea. I want every Spider-Man ever. Fast forward 10 years, 15 years later, and it's an old concept now.
Mhm.
Yeah, but I mean the connecting.
So
Oh yeah, here. Hold on. Let me. Hold on. Let me make this one.
So, Bo, here's my question: did you pay per Spider-Man or you pay for the piece?
No, the piece, which was a lot more than I anticipated.
Should have paid by Spider-Man.
Yeah,
Here, hold on. Let me share.
and I even got
Just-
a separate piece done, which I sent to Rob as well
Yeah.
Yeah.
because I'm a huge Clone
So-
Saga guy.
This is where it goes
Oh.
off, continues on. I mean, I got
yeah.
actually. Let me, this is how big it is, but I'm going to actually zoom in now a little bit more so we can get, and I'll drag it over here. So this is the side we hadn't seen yet. So
That's really cool.
Miguel O'Hara in there.
Yeah. I love how you put Miguel O'Hara behind the white of the building. To make sure
Unfortunately,
he
it's kind
comes
of
out.
blurry. I apologize. It's not super sharp because I was just like
Yeah.
saving
Oh,
the
don't apologize.
thumbnails, but
Yeah, I'm just happy to show it off.
yeah, that's crazy. And then
good, man.
let's see here. Here's this other one that he was talking about. Zoom in somewhere and share.
What's up, Mark? Mark and Brian, how you guys doing over there?
Wish there was more Spidey characters. Yeah.
They're nowhere near watering it down yet.
It's almost like Lantern Corps or Bat people.
Yeah,
At this point, right? There's
Yeah.
we're gonna get to a point that there's more Spider people than there are Lantern Corps members.
Well, I've gotten really irritated with the Spider people thing with this whole Spider-Verse stuff because it's just another maximum clonage at this point. It's just they just keep generating ridiculous people for the sake of introducing new characters and trying to say, "Oh, look, here's a new character premiere. Here's a new character." The characters are one-off characters that
derivative already.
Yeah,
when
it's
the
like,
original Spider-Geddon came out, it was cool. But then after that, all the Edge of Spider-Verses, and it's just, god damn
yeah,
it, it's so much.
It's become a cash cow. That's what it is.
which is
Yeah,
why
it's
I
just
stopped buying it because there's nothing going on in it. It's just a waste of time. And same thing,
Yep.
like I stopped buying like most of the various 2099 stuff that they've been doing recently because it was always like
Well, none of them have
weak-ass
been
stuff.
good.
It's not. Yeah, it's not what the original stuff was. So
No.
this is all you as Spider-Man, right?
No, that's just meant to be
Oh.
Peter Parker, Ben, Kane.
Okay.
Yeah, Kane
Yeah.
looks more like Bo.
Yeah. But I always had a massive fascination with the Chrysler Building ever since the Spider-Man cartoon series. I was a child watching that, and that was where the Kingpin's lair was, right? And to
Why was
me,
the Kingpin's lair in the Chrysler Building?
it was in the cartoons, in the Spider-Man 96 or
cartoon.
97 cartoon.
Even though in New York we actually have a Fisk building. There's an actual building on 59. It's on 57th Street. That's the Fisk building. A few blocks away, there's the building that they utilize for the first Spider-Man movie for Oscorp. So you know the layout, the pillars, and it says Oscorp on the top. It's just this regular building. It's not like a skyscraper like that. That's also there. And in Bryant Park, the mansion where Osborn lives is there too. So they actually use real sites for the original Spider-Man movie. It's pretty cool.
Well, when I went to New York back in 2000, obviously there's a million things that you want to see, but the number one on my list was the Chrysler Building.
Keep it pure and small, like DC's Speedster list.
Yeah, right. We are an army of one.
Oh, ouch. Ugh. Anywho, did you guys see anything good recently? I've been kind of not watching. I haven't been watching anything for over the past week as I've been.
Saw a great baseball game yesterday.
I've seen a bit.
Let me guess. Was it the Yankees?
Woohoo! I win. So during the stream, Marcus and I were talking. Marcus ended up buying one of these pieces of mine, and it's an unfinished piece. It's a Batman piece, but I said I'm gonna draw a picture of Gotham. But wouldn't it be cool? I just draw something that's Yankee related. And he was like, no, because Marcus is from KC. He's like, no, man. And then we ended up coming up with some kind of wager off of it. So like, if Kansas City wins, then the background will be some kind of Kansas City type of environment. But if the Yankees win, it's a Yankees New York environment. I was like, yesterday, bam, win. So I get to draw a little bit of a Yankees. I'll do something fun with it. Don't watch Godzilla. The Chrysler building is not as big as it used to be in comparison to the buildings around it anymore. It seems.
I'm just baffled. I don't know why God. I guess I haven't watched any new Godzilla stuff. I go, why is Godzilla in New York? He's a Pacific Ocean creature.
If your name is Matthew Broderick, you feel differently.
Yeah, we all try to ignore that movie.
I remember that movie quite well.
So do I.
Babies.
It came out the weekend of my birthday, and it was a date night for me and my wife. It was our first date to the movies. So yes, there's a special place in my heart for that movie.
I've seen 3 good things recently. One of them is Speak No Evil.
I heard good things about that movie.
Yeah, I'd recommend that with McAvoy.
Yeah, it looks creepy as fuck.
Yeah, it's really not that creepy because you're right. The trailer made it look creepy, and it is. Don't get me wrong, it is a little creepy, but it's not as creepy as the trailer made it look. But it was
it's not like a slasher movie in the traditional sense. No.
Well, I didn't think that. I thought it was just definitely more of a suspense and
psychological thriller or something like that.
What surprised me is that it was actually a remake of a movie that was done only 2 years ago. From somewhere in Europe with the exact same title. Usually it takes America a little bit longer than that. But yeah, it was really good, man. I recommend it. Plus McAvoy, he's always great, right? The other one was It's What's Inside. Have you heard of that one?
No, that one I haven't heard before.
No.
Well, neither had I. And it just suddenly brand new appeared on the Australian streaming site, which it's an American film. But it's about this couple that's getting married, and she invites her friends over for like a big party before the wedding. And an old high school friend comes over with this machine that you put the electrodes on their heads and they can all switch bodies. And it becomes this psychological just mind fuck. And it's really, really well done. I recommend that one too. I thought it was going to be just a bit of a popcorn flick, but I really enjoyed it.
So it's a Netflix film.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it's a Netflix distributed by Netflix.
Okay.
Budgeted $2.5 million. So this is So it's basically a group body swap thing, huh?
Yeah. And there's a few twists.
And of course they're going to learn stuff about each other that they didn't mean to learn.
Yeah. But I'm telling you, it was well done. The way it was directed and just a few of the scenes, the way it was edited, it was pretty interesting, man. And the last one is a 6-issue series that I just binge watched all today because I got the day off for Yom Kippur and I'm not meant to be doing anything, but I'm going to at least watch TV. Is Sweet Pea. Have you heard of that one over there?
I've heard of Sweet Pea.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an independent comic, isn't it?
It's a series.
Yeah, but it's based off a comic of the same name.
Oh, I didn't know that. No.
If that's what I'm thinking, yeah.
It's got the girl from Fallout in it.
Okay.
And it's an English show.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if that changes things for you.
English as in British or English as in American?
No, British.
Okay, that's what I make sure.
Yeah. And it's about a girl that's always getting overlooked, always getting pushed around, bullied in high school, very timid, and then all of a sudden she just freaks out and takes matters into her own hands.
She goes into a carry mode.
A bit like Falling Down, but not so much,
Yeah, Falling Down such a good movie, man. I love that movie. Love that movie. I haven't seen it years.
Well, if you're a fan of that, I think you're going to enjoy this too.
Yeah.
It's adapted from a book of the same name.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, interesting.
Yeah. So in my case, I watched the whole McMahon series. Nothing new. Nothing. But you know what else? With the exception of the last episode, which is where they go into what's going on, from the information that they had, it didn't paint him in that bad of a light.
I know.
The way they made it seem like they made it seem like they were gonna paint him in like such an evil way. It's like, no, this was.
Well, I mean, it definitely gave you. It showed enough stuff that you could sit there and go, like, you could see where somebody who started with
history of WWE.
Somebody who, it was that, but it was
more
mixed in with him. Some of the stuff that he did, where you can see, if you piece all the stuff together throughout it, you can go, okay, you can see him come from nothing to where he was, and you can see how he got himself into a position of a mentality of thinking that I can do whatever I want. He at times ran the WWE that way, in that you heard that from some of the wrestlers who would say things, especially the older guys that don't care anymore. They're saying stuff like, he's the boss. What are you going to do? Type thing. You can do what you want. And so there's some different things there. Again, nothing's new, like you said.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely not like the scathing thing either, but it wasn't like here's this great guy either, by any stretch of the imagination. It was a typical American businessman who comes into power, tries to eliminate all his enemies and tries to control everything, and doesn't want to,
the only thing I didn't know about was that Wendy Richter. I didn't realize she got screwed over like Brett. That was new to me.
Mm-hmm. That, and so there's little drops here and there about other
Mhm.
allegations in the past that were
Mhm.
kind of like settled and stuff, and
Mhm.
you're like, oh, okay, there's a pattern here. And
And I think that's what they were doing. They were
Yeah.
showing an evolution of, I guess you could say, the monster that would become Mr. McMahon, and it was like it was like the kayfabe. It's becoming reality. You
right,
know,
and
they
that's
were painting it that way. That
there's
that
been
I
there's
see.
been that, and it was, again, most of this stuff was recorded ahead of time. All this,
Mhm.
right? So
Yeah.
they probably set out to do something different, and then took what they had and tried to edit it in such a way to more align with
Mhm.
today's narrative,
Yeah, exactly.
type of thing. So that's why it is what it is, and that's
Especially the part where at towards the end when they asked, "What do you think McMahon's legacy was?" and everyone froze except for Tony Atlas. And I have to admit,
Yeah.
Tony
Yeah.
Atlas was the best
Oh,
because
yeah.
he was
He
like,
was very honest.
I don't give a
Yeah,
damn. I'm gonna
he's
say
like,
what I'm gonna
well, we
say.
were probably, he was very blunt. Stuff that we did back in my day in the locker room with the ladies and stuff was not cool. And
And what they did to him with
yeah,
Patterson
yeah.
and you know,
Yeah.
he's like, what are you supposed to say? He's
Yeah.
number two. You
I'm
know what I
looking
mean?
forward to that.
Yeah, especially since Mark, this is actually good because Mark was super critical of it when the initial pictures came in.
Yeah.
So to see that he watched it and then actually liked it was good.
Mhm.
I know Mark was actually he wanted me to watch Chaos,
Mhm.
and I started to watch it and only watched like a couple episodes before I
Yeah.
was
No.
falling asleep. And now I'm not like even interested in go. Now that I know it's canceled,
Canceled,
I
yeah.
have like
Yeah.
I have like zero interest in going back to.
Yeah.
I've
I mean,
really tried to get into that, but
I'm glad I'm not the only one who struggled, because I know some people told me, "Oh, it's so good," and I'm like,
Well,
I'm
it's
just
hard
like
to watch
having.
things like that, right? It's hard to watch something that doesn't have like may not have an ending.
Well, but this was before that,
this
before
is
they
before that.
canceled it.
Yeah.
I started to sit down and watch it, and it was just like, I think that the pacing and everything was just
Mhm.
like, I know they're trying to establish a world and all this stuff, but it was still just something about it was just very difficult for me to engage with, even though
Yeah.
I love the actors. I like the concept of the story is very interesting to me, because I was always really interested in like Greek mythology when I
Yeah.
was
Same.
younger and
Yeah.
stuff. So I'm like everything about it screams you should love this.
Exactly.
And then I'm watching it, I'm just going like,
Yeah. That's 100% the exact same way that I felt, Rob. I'm not kidding. I'll tell you what though. I
wonder
don't know if you ever
powers
watched.
for us, brother.
Yeah, or this one. I don't know if you ever watch any anime.
I do every once in a while, mostly older
I
stuff.
Well, I don't know if you count this as anime actually, or just animated. But on Netflix, The Blood of Zeus.
That's an anime.
It is. That's actually
Yeah.
really good.
No, Netflix has a lot of good
Ugh.
animated series.
I couldn't stop watching that. I couldn't believe how good it was. And it's been 2 years or so, but now the second season's out. But yeah, if you're into Greek mythology and you don't mind animated stuff, check that out.
So
Oh, look, I tend to like the stuff like, like I said, I don't watch it very often, but I watch stuff as I'm watching stuff that's like, I used to watch like the Guyver, and I watch Ultraman animated stuff, and
mhm.
so a lot of that type of stuff, and then old Bubblegum Crisis stuff, or
Oh
then,
wow, Bubblegum Crisis, man, that's a throwback
yeah,
right there.
and then well, I'm old, and then probably one of the more recent ones that I watched was, and it's not even recent either, was Kill La Kill, which I've actually gone back. I was going back and rewatching Kill La Kill
Mhm.
not too long ago, just because I don't know,
Who's
there's something
not?
about it.
Yes.
I really dig it.
I will say I'm on the new animes, the one that really new in the sense for us, but the one that I think has been always good has been Demon Slayer.
Oh yeah.
That is so good. You know what I mean? It is it's
I wonder if
first of
that's
all,
the one.
so the problem I've been having with anime as of late is that it feels it feels like they're going backwards in comparison to the art that it used to be like in the 80s. Because in the 80s, we're talking, this was like top of the line art, right? When you look at when you look at it, it's like it's amazing to see how they were able to make that animated, right? Like with Akira, Fist of the North Star, just like you said, Bubblegum, Vampire Hunter D. Like the animation style was just like top of the line, and then it kind of like went downward. And now it's kind of like they just throw so much. When it comes to anime, there's just so much content that
I'll
it's
tell you
hard
what.
to pinpoint. But
I
before you go, Libo, let me just finish with the thought. When it comes to Demon Slayer, it's like you're looking from a comic book perspective. That the art was even better than the actual comic, the manga version, and it's just gorgeous to look at, and it's a great story. Back to you, Bo.
No, sorry, mate. That was rude of me. I was interrupting you.
Don't worry. I do it all the time.
I was just going to say, I back Evil's Comics' comment there about Pluto. Have you seen that one?
I haven't seen Pluto. Like I said, it's so much. So it might.
Pluto is so fucking good, man. It's have you even heard of it?
Actually, this is the first time I hear of Pluto.
So it's about 8 books, which I've read them all, and they're fantastic. And the series does a very good job of adapting it. And it's basically one single little storyline in Astro Boy, and they've made an adult series out of it. It's like a love letter to Tizakami and Astro Boy. In fact, Astro, the character, is in this series, but it's not an Astro Boy cartoon. It's kind of hard to.
Like a spin-off.
Yeah, I guess, but it's really fascinating. Not even a crossover. No, I wouldn't even call it that. It's literally one episode of Astro Boy, but turned into a full series. And it's done for adults.
So it's almost really, like, so it's sort of in the vein of Rogue One, where we've taken an entire movie created based off of the crawl of a different movie.
But this is done good.
Up to TVH, One Punch Man is
shots
great.
fired. Although, Bo, I am not the biggest Rogue One fan as many other people are, because I don't think that Rogue One is bad for what it is, but I've always said if you take out the last 10 minutes, nobody cares. If you remove Darth Vader's scene at the end, it's like, it's still a good story, don't get me wrong, and it tells the story of the crawl, but the last 10 minutes when Vader shows up and is that badass like you've never seen him before, all of a sudden, well, that, as a Star Wars fan, that just makes you go like full straight to midnight. Anyways, classic anime I like to watch. I don't watch much modern. I do love One Punch Man, mind you.
One Punch Man is really good. It's hilarious.
My youngest watches way more. I mean, is really into anime and watches stuff that I when they're home and I see them here watching stuff. I walk in. I don't even know what they're watching. And it's like I know there's something about a bunch of vampires and stuff and people fighting and stuff, and it's all I know is like it is grotesque. The file, So it's, I guess, a difference. I was just like, oh, okay, and a lot of profanity. Holy cow!
Yeah.
It's like I was on the military or something.
Sounds like you were watching Chainsaw Man. That's what that's.
Well, no, this was definitely not Chainsaw Man. This was, I know it was like something. I know that there were vampires involved in vampires at war with one another and trying to fight for power and some castles and stuff. I don't know.
Yeah.
I honestly don't know. Didn't ask. I just was like, all right.
Yeah, the one that I like watching it because my girls like watching it, but I'm kind of lost as I watch it. Is Jujutsu Kaisen, and I like it. I like it a lot, but it's like I get lost with it because my mind wanders off when I'm watching it because they're actually watching the dub version because I don't like reading shows. I'm not a fan of reading shows.
Yeah, I get me too.
You know, it's like I have to look down and do this, and I hate doing that.
And I'm really more into the sci-fi anime than I am the
Yeah,
creature.
Castlevania
it could have
is
been
also
Castlevania.
good.
Could be
I think
Castlevania.
I think Evil's Comics and me are on the same page. That's
Yeah.
2 for 2.
True Blood. That's not an anime, is it?
Not that I know of.
That's an
I wouldn't
HBO series.
I wouldn't be surprised if they made.
It
an
might
anime.
be Cass. I'm looking at some
It could be
stills.
Castlevania if it's on Netflix. It usually is. But yeah,
Oh.
DVH is right about One Punch Man. It is just, it's not what you think it is. It's like that's the
Yeah,
premise. It brings
yeah,
you
no,
in.
it might be Castlevania. As I'm looking at some of these still images.
Yeah. So
Castlevania is really good. I really enjoyed that.
yeah. So I like Jujutsu. I'm lost sometimes with it because they have the one of the things that a lot of these anime has is that they have this indestructible character. But the catch with the indestructible character is that they're also nonchalant. They don't care as much, right? They're like, yeah, whatever. They're like, whatever. One Punch Man is one of those guys where he's indestructible, right? That his name says it all. One Punch Man, but it's kind of like there's a story around everyone around him, and the same thing with Jujutsu, where they have this one character who is he's the supreme being. He's the Superman of the group, you know, and it's kind of like the same thing. But again, he's just one of those guys. He's like, he's chill. He's just a chill dude and stuff like that. But everybody's trying to fight to save their lives, and he's like, yeah, okay, boom, done. You know what I mean? That's kind of like what One Punch Man is. But
I am interested to see what this, what the storyline of One Punch Man would be now that I know the premise of it. Like, how do you write a story that goes for that long about a guy that can just beat the shit out of you with one punch?
well,
Like,
that's
there's obviously a lot more to it.
But that's how they grab you in. Like how you know if that's all it takes. But the thing is, the story is kind of like he's getting his groceries. Like there's scenes like that where he's just getting his groceries, and then like someone comes in out of nowhere. He's like,
Bo, I can sort of answer that question for you without ever picking it up. But you're talking about, you write a story about a man who can beat you with one punch. Have you ever heard of Superman?
But no, but he's at a different level than Superman. Let's just say there's a doomsday is coming. He's just there, and they're doing everything they can to him, and he's like, done. You know what I mean? But then, it's so funny.
So the whole thing is that Superman's always holding back. But still, maybe, I don't know. I've never watched it. I just joking.
It's worth a watch. It's funny. It's definitely comedic. It's comedy. So
I love this show, the way that we go down things. Waking up this morning, I had no idea we'd have a conversation about anime.
Hey, I'm sorry I started it.
No. It's funny. I mean, it's like I when I grew up, growing up, I watched. I had a lot of Japanese import stuff here in the Bay Area, and so I watched. Obviously, the anime I watched at the time was obviously, Battle of the Planets, which was Gotcha Man redone,
re-edited. I never saw that.
Oh yeah, G-Force was like edited for American TV. They added like some robot into it and tried to make it more like Star Wars-y or something. But ultimately, it was that's what I was watching. That and Star Blazers and Robotech, obviously, and that type of stuff. That which was all that sci-fi. So then, of course, we had our man in giant rubber suit stuff, where we had Ultraman and Johnny Sacco and his fighting robot, and Space Giants.
Wow, I haven't heard that name in years. But you missed one. You missed one that's actually in the news today. Voltron.
Oh yeah. Well, because what, Voltron was on, but for some reason I never really super got into Voltron.
Oh, I used to love it when I was a kid.
Well, there was multiple versions of Voltron.
Right. There was the cars and there was the lions and everything. And obviously the lions was superior to the cars.
Yes.
Even though the cars came first.
Yeah, no, the lions were better though. Everybody admits that. And I remember watching it here and there. I didn't live my life like I had to watch Voltron type thing. But obviously, yes, in the news due to some it's just rumors right now that
Last I
Cavill's
yep,
associated.
that
What's he going to
Cavill.
play? The robot? I mean, well, I don't get it.
So apparently this is the rumor. Is heading to Amazon MGM featured adaptation. No, it looks like he's signed.
Is he going to do voice work for? Oh, obviously voice work, but I mean,
No,
it's
I don't think it's voice. If it's an, I don't think it's an animated series.
live action Voltron.
Yeah,
That's a budget
Yeah.
I can't imagine.
they did
Yeah,
it
man.
already. They did it with the Power Rangers years ago, so it's possible. Because isn't the Power Rangers Voltron? Let's be
Yeah.
honest.
Yeah, it is.
it
Ultra.
really is.
Okay, so you're talking about low budget. Okay, got it.
Yeah. So, but he's
Ladies and
involved.
gentlemen, Justin Birch has arrived.
I'm greatly offended by that.
That you've arrived.
Has you arrived?
No, isn't Voltron just Power Rangers?
Well,
No, I was doing the comparison
It is
of
though.
let's
in a
be
live
honest.
action setting.
It is and isn't Transformers just GoBots?
All right, I actually think I have to go now.
Well, I'm gonna tell you right now. When Power Rangers first came on, I was
Is
an
it Ninja
older
Turtles just
teenager.
two
I was an
shots?
older teenager, and that's what we said. It's like, oh, is this Voltron? Because that was the comparison.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I remember when Power Rangers first came out. I was watching it, going, "This is just Voltron with ninjas."
Five different colored
It
things come together to form a giant robot.
now they've evolved to be something else and become something
Yeah.
better than
Yeah.
they were originally intended to be, and that's okay, Justin. It's all right. You know, isn't the Fantastic Four really the challengers of the unknown? The X-Men are really Doom Patrol.
What? Why am I here?
Why do we always come here? I guess we'll never know.
Isn't the Tick just Spider-Man?
That Tick is awesome.
I love the Tick.
and not only is the animated stuff is great, but the original show, live action,
the very short-lived.
Not-
TV
yeah,
show.
the Amazon one was fine, but the Amazon show of the Tick holds nothing. Nothing.
Didn't last long, did it?
No, it didn't last long at all.
I'm Batman. Well,
Oh, I loved all those characters. The Flater Mouse,
yeah.
Chairface Chippendale. That was his name, Chairface Chippendale. That his head was literally a chair,
Oh my god, that stuff was so good.
and not just any chair. It was a wooden chair. That was his head, and he was like he was a super villain, and all he wanted to do was write his name on the moon. That's what that was his evil goal, and he managed to get the C and the H. And the best part is the continuity in that cartoon throughout the years, because I think it lasted like what three seasons or something like. But the continuity is every time you saw the moon, you saw the C and the H on the moon.
Yeah, it was 3 seasons. It was 2016 to
That was
2019.
I was referring to the original anime cartoon, the
Oh,
animation, the one that came out back in the 90s.
wait, why is it showing? Oh, that's a different one. That's the Amazon one was 2016. The original one, the original live action, the really good one was Warburton,
Patrick Warburton.
2001.
Perfect casting.
Oh,
So
God,
perfect
it's
casting.
So good.
Yeah.
Wow, I thought it was older than that. I'm really surprised that it was 2001.
23 years ago.
Yeah, that's 23 years ago. That's 23 years ago. It's old.
Yeah, no, I thought it was older as well, if I'm being honest.
But oh,
I don't
God.
suppose they've got Koala Man there.
Mm-hmm.
If you haven't seen it, you got to watch it. That's the 3 seasons. That's the Amazon one. But you gotta see look up the 2000. If you haven't seen it, you gotta go watch the 2001 version with Patrick Warburton as the Tick. That is,
Yeah, and he didn't cover his face. You saw his face.
yeah.
Yeah, that was probably written into the contract.
and then you got to see his face, his full face.
Yeah,
But it worked.
that's where Pedro Pascal got his contract ideas from for the Mandalorian, where he's like, "Hey, we got to start showing the moneymaker here."
Oh my god!
So what I loved about it was that his antennas were always moving.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh my god! No, but even the cast, like you had, they changed their names, right? So it wasn't American Made. They changed her to like something Victory, and then the character that would be the Flater Mouse, which is kind of like a ripoff of That was a ripoff of Batman.
Yeah, he was in Batman well.
Yeah, Batman.
I said, I'm Batman well.
Oh, yeah,
the antennas ate up the entire mask budget.
Oh my gosh. Batman which eventually became the mayor of Gotham City in the Dark Knight movie. So go fig.
Oh god.
Such a good that was such a good show, man. It didn't last long because the ratings weren't that great.
Well, I think only because so many people just didn't understand it. I don't know what.
Well, it was a Fox show, right? Like the live action.
It was live action.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like they were probably bouncing it from night to night. Like it didn't have a consistent time spot.
I think it came into like a spring. It was a spring show.
They give it the Firefly treatment. What?
So,
that's preempted by football and baseball and all that good stuff.
Mm-hmm. So it just never. It only had 9 episodes. And
Every
it was
one of them a class.
It was just at that time the superhero genre was dying out. At that moment, it was just going on a downhill spiral. So it was kind of like going through that same thing, that same problem.
Speaking of which, Justin, how's your work going? Oh, I'm just kidding.
I don't get it.
Wrote any good letters lately?
Work, got it.
Going on a downward spiral. You know.
I'm gonna have to head off because I've got Cliff in the
No,
morning.
I love Justin Birch. Don't get me wrong. I'm sorry. I apologize, Justin. That was mean and cruel and uncalled for. I'm a bad man.
I was still more offended by the Voltron Power Rangers comment.
That's fair. That's fair. All right.
It's okay, Justin. It's all right, man. It's okay.
What would your comparison be then?
No, wait. Actually, no. I was more offended by Transformers and GoBots.
Yeah, there you go. But
yeah.
Really?
I can understand. But you know what? Sometimes it's true.
Isn't G.I. Joe just Barbie for men?
I mean,
it was actually created that way for boys, but
weren't all cartoons then just 30-minute toy commercials?
They all were. They really were.
Well, that's what they became in the 80s.
Yeah. Holy crap.
Isn't he?
Well, I gotta
Conan?
go. I gotta get some sleep before I deal with Cliff in the morning.
Before you deal with Cliff.
You got to deal with Cliff. I think, it's probably the other way around.
Either way, I need sleep.
This is Cliff we're talking about.
I remind you, with daylight savings now, your Legion starts at 10:30 p.m. for me now.
And what time is it right now?
It is now midnight.
Oh, look at that!
It's the witching hour.
So it's the next day.
It is.
You're on Saturday time now, right?
I am. That's right. And
we just started on Friday
in 10 hours.
Yeah, we just started our Friday over here.
Of course, Justin, you do realize that GoBot's cartoon was out first, right?
Not in my head.
Okay, well.
Oh man!
All right, see you, boys.
So, I guess you're more familiar with the Tick than I am. Was there ever an origin for the Tick, or he just showed up?
Yeah, no, it's half the thing. Is like there's just no origin. That
he just
I never read any of the comics, so I don't know.
Yeah,
but I think that's like half the gag is like why have an origin? He just is.
He's just a superpower being.
It's this mystery. That was like where what he doesn't know. He doesn't know who he is.
But he never says anything because he's just so out there.
Right. Well, he doesn't the whole thing. When you watch those TV shows and stuff, he doesn't know who he is or how he got. He just is. He just is. It's
He
like,
just is.
yeah. Is it even a suit he's wearing, or is it him? We don't know. The assumption is that it's some sort of alien suit or something that he got, but we don't know.
I love Arthur though. Arthur's
Yeah,
Arthur's great.
Arthur's got the origin story, and
Yeah, but he's an actual accountant.
although I did like, I will admit the best thing I thought was the most fun on the Amazon show was the boat.
I never saw the Amazon show. Though.
Oh, the Amazon show is worth watching. I mean, it's still it's not the Warburton show, but it's still good. But there's a whole thing with this like spy boat that's got an AI, and the AI like becomes like is fully on its fully self-realized AI type thing, kind of like supposed to be like kind of like Kit type of thing, but it's a boat, and it's in love with the owner or whatever. It's just out there.
So good. It was actually ahead of its time, though. I will give it that much.
I do say that is a great shirt, Justin, for a letterer.
Nice. Just it's all I hear all day.
It makes sense.
So there you are. Justin Birch is a married man.
What? Oh, because here's this blah blah blah. Okay, I was like, what? Where did we get to that connection? But we know
Can
that
confirm.
we know that he's talked about getting dragged to shows, but he gets a sub sandwich.
Sub sandwich. Oh yeah, you ready for those New York prices, Justin?
I'm just packing my own peanut butter sandwiches.
There you go.
I agree, DVH. The show definitely got better as it went on. Like I said, it wasn't as good as the other in my mind, but it was still a fun watch. If you're a Tick person, yeah. If you're not, don't think it like, oh, I gotta go watch it. Rob said I should go watch it. It's like, no.
If you like a good nonsensical comedy,
superheroes,
Tick is the one for you. You want a good laugh, Tick is definitely worth it.
If you like the Tick and you haven't seen the Amazon show, then by all means, pencil it in onto your to watch list.
I swear there was a year at New York Comic Con. They had a huge presence. Like I feel like there was a huge. Huge
for the Tick.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, when Amazon
a long time ago when they launched.
Yeah, when Amazon launched it, they were trying to really push the show.
They did that. They had this. They had something. They always do like this little booth with the Tick, kind of like when Sandman the Audible came out. They did the whole little Audible room. So yeah, there's Amazon always does something. I don't know what they're pushing this year, because I haven't gotten any press. They haven't sent any press release yet, because I'm waiting for that. I do know outside of that there's going to be a Turtles. Something with the Turtles is happening. So there is a press release for the Turtles. I think a video game that's happening. So I got that. So I'm trying to. I already have the press release for Skybound with the Transformers and G.I. Joe. So that's good. That should be fun. But my biggest concern is, what do I buy? Because now the variants are becoming hot ticket items.
I'm not playing that game. I've seen the show before.
I know, but there's 2 books. There's a few books that I got my interest on, not for the flipping market, rather than for the I want to keep them market. The Spawn books, the Peach Momoko Spawn is already. They're selling it on eBay for $300, and they don't. I don't even know if they have the book. And there's the Mexican foil of the Mocha cover. That's a hot one. And the other one that was pretty hot. There's a third book. Why is it? Why? Oh, Absolute Batman books. Did you guys get a chance to read it, Rob? Did you get to read it yet?
I'm Ultimate Batman, yes,
What's your
or
thoughts?
Unlimited or Absolute Batman.
What's your thoughts on it? And Justin, did you read it?
I don't read comics.
I figured that part. That's why I went to Rob first.
I thought it was fine. It was a good start. I like some different takes on some of these characters. I'd be interested to see where it goes. I mean, it's obviously just first issue.
Yeah, that's my whole thought of it. It's like, how long is this gonna work for? Because yeah, it is DC's answer to an Ultimate line. I don't care what anybody says. That's what it is. But based on All In, doesn't sound like it's gonna end well for any of these characters.
Yeah, sorry, I got something coming through for work that I'm
Yeah.
trying to pay attention to here for a second because I'm on the clock now.
So,
Ooh, are they going to have an incursion event? Oh my gosh, dog! I'll be right back.
Okay.
Okay.
As far as an incursion event, if you read All In, they have something very similar to an incursion event, where Darkseid's their version of the Maker, in other words, based on how I read it. Like, it's kind of the world that he created, so it's like it's supposed to be a grim universe or something like that, this absolute universe and stuff like that. So I can't wait for Evil Ralph Dibny. For anybody else that read it, I actually did like the book, and I read it a second time just because I thought I needed to read it a second time to catch some of these things. With Absolute Batman, so it's definitely worth a read. I like what Nick Dragotta did with the panel layouts, where some panels are like 12 panels in a page, and how and the writing was obviously Scott Snyder, so the writing is pretty good. But I'm just curious to see where it goes, and is Martha gonna make it? That's my question. I have a feeling Martha's gonna go through her Uncle Ben moment.
Maybe.
You know what I mean? I feel like a Batman where only one parent lives. So,
but he's still, yeah.
It's not as bitter.
Although he's still hung up on everything and still goes and revisits the scene where it happened.
But where's Mom? What? Yeah. So see, because of the Joker part, I don't know how I feel about that right now. A Joker that's not funny. So that one's gonna be a little interesting to see how how he does a Joker that's completely different. So, because now Joker's the rich one. So, spoilers, guys. Sorry, spoilers. Yep, we got a rich Joker. So there's that with that. And like I said, I did like it, but we need a couple of issues before I could say it's good. It's a great story. Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, no problem, man. Work is work.
Yeah, it's Europe, so they're ahead of time. So I'm at their closer to the end of their day than I am the.
Yeah.
But they're being butthurt over somebody one of my team members made a human error, and it's like they're getting all butthurt over it, like this is embarrassing and blah blah blah. I was like, dude, slow your roll.
What's your thoughts about, now that you mentioned someone? What's your thoughts about The Rock returning this past weekend?
I'm done with him. I mean, I looked at him. He was funny when he shows up on the wrestling show. He doesn't have necessarily the same level of makeup and other stuff that's going on that it is on the movies and stuff, and he definitely showing his age more.
Mhm.
I see him, I go like, oh, okay, yeah, you're big, you know, but man, you're definitely no spring chicken, that's for sure.
Mhm.
And I just don't. I'm just really, for the most part, I'm pretty done with the Bloodline story. I think they've. I mean,
They're milking it. They're definitely milking it.
yeah, they are, and it's like it's not interesting to me all that much.
I'm waiting for one specific moment, and that moment is going to be when you've got Jimmy and Jay and Roman in the ring, and they're all getting beat down by the new or Bloodline 2.0, and then Sami Zayn's music hits and he runs out to make the save. That's the moment I'm waiting for.
I don't think Sammy's going to be involved.
That would be interesting though if it did happen, just from a standpoint of.
Because then you could do your War Games 4-on-4.
And that's the thing. I think the Rock interferes in the Bloodlines War Game storyline, because where I think it's leading towards, I think it is leading
Roman
towards
Rock WrestleMania.
No, now they're saying it's a triple threat, which is nobody likes triple threats.
No.
Yep, that's the rumor now.
The
rumor is that they're going to go towards a triple threat event, which could completely mess up the whole idea of the concept. Like, I like the idea of The Rock pulling the strings the whole time. I think because Solo Sikoa just isn't the guy. He was a poor choice to make him the new leader. It just didn't work. So I do believe that the whole concept is that Rock was pulling the strings the whole time, which is kind of obvious where they're going to go with that. What I don't like is I don't think Cody should be involved in that story.
Yeah,
it waters down his championship. It waters down his championship.
It's like going like, oh, we don't have anybody that we want him to face, so we're putting him in this other story to keep him busy and in front of people, but he's not defending the belt and stuff. And it's like,
but he's still, you know, the way they look at popularity is through through merch, right? That's how they see popularity. He's selling. Put him with someone else, and then they turn Kevin Owens heel again. I was like, you should have just left Kevin alone and just gone to a new. If anything, turn Randy heel again and give us the Randy match.
Well, I think Litton, yeah. I mean, I like letting Randy have his moment right now while the fans are really appreciating him towards the twilight of his career.
Yeah.
The Kevin Owens trope of him betraying everybody is just it doesn't make he seesaws back and forth so much. It's like, okay,
but he has fun with it. That's because he knows
but
he knows it's kayfabe. He plays to the kayfabe of it all.
But it's boring to me. To be honest, most tropes get boring after a while. The only trope that I actually really have enjoyed right now is, and the fact that they're calling it out, is the fact that you can't superplex Kevin Owens. that's like actually like the most interesting one. That and was the other one I really liked was when it was for Samoa Joe, the just sidestepping people jumping off of stuff. I mean, those two things are like, okay, I love those things because it's just like, thank you, but
yeah. So I think Kevin should have gone through a different feud, move on from the Cody story. He shouldn't be in the Cody story, and maybe even give Cody something else to work on rather than putting Cody as part of this bloodline story, because now that dilutes that story, or it actually dilutes Cody more so than the bloodline. Let the bloodline handle their business. And if they want to go back to, Roman Cody, well, that should have been the match that really happens in the Crown Jewels instead of Cody versus Gunther, which I'm sure there'll be shenanigans towards the end of that match. Because I honestly think Gunther's going to win that one. Yeah, even though that belt looks very expensive. Did you see the Crown Jewel belt?
Crown Jewel, yeah,
that looks very expensive.
Well, they've got all that blood money to pay for it.
Oh, it was a lot of blood money for that belt. If you've seen that belt, that is bling at its highest level.
It's pretty. I mean, I like. It's like, okay, look, if you want to make it, we're gonna have this annual thing of champion versus champion. I really like the idea that there's this trophy that they're going for or whatever instead. But the thing I don't like is that it's gonna be like the an AEW, the Owen Hart belt or whatever. Like, it's for several weeks. They're carrying it out all the time with them on this other stuff, and it's like,
Well, look at the greatest Royal Rumble. Where did that belt go?
yeah.
No one
There was a
talks about
belt
it.
for that?
Yeah, Saudi likes to make belts for shows. Yeah, there was a belt for that. Which I will say, I will admit, that was the greatest Royal Rumble because that's where we got this guy sliding underneath the ring.
Oh,
It was so classic.
Poor Titus.
Titus worldwide.
that was it. There's a thing I thought was stupid. It was like, right, so the other you go to tropes, right? It's like, I hate the stuff that's under the ring.
Mhm.
That there's always, there's like, why are there always folding tables and chairs under a
No,
wrestling ring?
the folding tables and chairs make sense. It's the kendo sticks I don't get.
Yeah, who's the crew worker who's in charge of making sure that there aren't kendo sticks under the ring?
Well, I don't understand folding chairs and tables either, because it's like, why you set those up, the ones you need for your. So why do you have
When they close up, they have to put stuff on a table, so they just take the table out and put it there. Just saying.
What's funny is when they look under the wrong side.
Yeah. There's a fire extinguisher under there instead of out where you could actually get it in an emergency.
Or no. So they it's supposed to be there, right? So they flip up the apron and they look under. Oh shit! It's actually on the other side. Apron down, walk around.
Then you get the stuff like where you had at the Bad Blood pay-per-view, where they flip up the apron and you can see the monitors underneath the ring for Jimmy Uso to see what was going on.
Man, that's good stuff.
It's like, oh, why are there monitors on underneath the ring? Why would you need that? That seems odd.
Yeah, that Bad Blood was good, but I was upset that they did that with the main event. That Hell in a Cell match is supposed to be last. That's the problem I have with The Rock right now. That he wants to take the shine off of everything for himself, for his own personal gain. That was a jerk move in my take. Like, okay, you want to show up at the beginning. Let these guys end the show, because this is what people really want to see. And it was a good match. They beat the crap out of each other, which made it good. So
yeah, it was. When I got done watching it, I was like, oh, felt like this pay-per-view seemed like it was light, like it was missing some matches.
Just flip it and it would have been just fine, But I love Dominic. I don't care what they say. I love Dominic.
No,
he's the best.
Well, it's great that he's playing his role and stuff. I mean, like, oh, he fell out. Like, first of all, there was no lock on the cage, so how did he didn't pick a lock? There was nothing. They never locked it. It was like, oh, when they were putting it up, well, why aren't they locking the cage? What the hell's this dumb shit? And then it's like, oh, he falls out and he's just dangling. It's like, oh, why? Well, he had this harness on? Well, that was weird. Why? What did that happen?
Oh my goodness! But you know what? When he was dangling, the way he fell, he actually really could have hurt himself really bad in that fall.
Well, not really, because of the way the harness was attached to the vest he was wearing.
Yeah.
So he's wearing a vest underneath his outfit, which the line then ran up like his pants or whatever to try to hide the cable or whatever. But so I mean, it's like it wasn't like it was his foot that was like all the weight was jerking on his leg or something.
Yeah. But they played it off. It worked really good the way he was hanging. It was like he's a human piñata.
Yeah. Well, and then I'm here to fight for the championship. Oh, I'm gonna need some time I need a few minutes to go take care of something. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead. You deserve it. What? Why does the referee say, go ahead, you deserve it? What is that? That makes no sense to me.
Oh man, it's so good.
And then, of course, the whole thing with, it was supposed to be that Rhea was supposed to lose, but, the referee called the disqualification because he goes,
Because he
well,
saw
it happened right in front of me. I couldn't exactly ignore that.
Yeah,
So,
they had to call an audible at that moment. So I don't know who screwed up more.
Which is why Rodriguez drapes Liv on top of Rhea after the disqualification.
Yeah, she rolls her over still. That was a clear. You screwed up, but I'm not sure who actually screwed up. So.
Well, it was the writers.
I think
the writers
Rodriguez screwed up. She showed up. She came in early.
But then someone had to call her in early.
The referee was in the wrong position
That's what it was.
have his back to it, whatever. But it's all this whole concept of that. The most important to me thing has been getting my belt back. You might have gotten out of the cage, but you're trapped and dangling there. I'm going to stop what I'm doing and getting my belt back, which is supposedly the most important thing. And then ask the referee, say, hey, I'm going to need a minute. And then the referee to say, yeah, go ahead. You deserve this.
Okay. Now, keep this in mind. Obviously, Dom is playing a phenomenal heel, right? Dom is playing a great heel.
He's a heat magnet.
Liv is doing such a good job with that. But if you really look at the story, why are you not on Dom's side? Because let's be honest, she didn't give him anything. He was like, I want some. And she wouldn't give him any. So Liv is giving him some. So that's why he left. But now we're supposed to feel for Rhea. But Dom is
Rhea's been this anyways, I like somebody had some crazy rumors like now what's gonna happen is we'll build for a Rodriguez versus Liv secret with some secret machinations with Dom leaving Liv to be with Rodriguez. God.
I don't like Rodriguez.
I don't like her at all, period, let alone as a heel. The heel turn is like, oh, wait, just because you were partners with Liv, and all of a sudden you're going to be
She just doesn't have it in her. She doesn't have that factor.
Yeah. Her personality is just not. It's like she's got a great physique, as far as and you go, okay, she seems like a legitimate person who could stand toe to toe with Rhea from a power standpoint, which is great, but. Because we've seen we've seen them fight in NXT and stuff over and over, but her personality is just, and how that's half the thing, right? Is can you get over on your own, your ring skills and stuff? And aside for her coming out and flexing her back, she doesn't really.
She has no draw. She has no. There's no draw in her. Like she's playing to the big bodyguard woman type, right? Which is a common trope, it's like, but she's like a poor person's China. And then to top it off, she tries to give you personality, but then it comes across like a Natalia personality. And like, it's just, and that's how I feel about Natalia. Like Natalia, she's a great worker, but there's a reason why no one talks about her. And I think she's on that same level. You know what I mean? So, so Birch, what is the letter of the day?
R.
You heard it here, guys. It's R.
Oh my gosh, what does that dog want?
Ruff. Sponsored by the letter R.
What?
I will be right back.
Go for it. So there you have it. There's your wrestling talk. I heard that Dynamite happened on Tuesday and nobody watched it.
Yeah, I didn't know it was going to happen on Tuesday. I mean, I got it recorded, But I'm like, oh, I had no idea it was going to be on Tuesday. I guess they just wanted to compete with NXT.
No, it wasn't a compete. It wasn't a compete with NXT situation. Even though people think it was the playoffs.
Oh,
So the playoffs caused it to move, but they never promoted it that way. So they said they just made it happen. So they didn't. Honestly, I don't think they care, even though it was a go home show. And then they called it Title Tuesday, and there was one title. But that was also because of the storms, kind of affected it. Did you get Steph's message?
I see. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
sorry. So many different things going on right now because I'm trying to do work at the same time as run the show here. So
I'll take care. I can send it to her.
no, I got it. I got it.
Okay.
She's crying in the chat that I haven't responded to her. So
let me in.
normally I send it to her. Normally I send it to her before the show, but I didn't even have the link until like the last minute because Mark had he has only one other admin and he had given somebody else. So when I woke up, I didn't even have access to this thing. And
okay. Well, just in case, I gave it to her too.
Yeah. So, anyways,
she should be in a second.
Did I not send you this guy though? People ask me for documents, and I'm like, oh, didn't I send that to you? I did send it to him.
Yes, she should be in a matter of seconds. Let's see. So I was shopping around for alternatives to StreamYard, and I came across one which I'm still going to use in some capacity with Streamlabs. But then when I went to cancel my StreamYard, they said, "Hey, would you like an extra 6 months for this price?" And I was like, "Mm-hmm." So,
yeah, like I said, I have gotten no emails about price changes.
Yeah, because you got the annual, right?
Yeah. The only thing I got the other day was an email about the plan changes, and essentially that you're now going to be this plan
core,
and it's got it's got all the functionality I had before plus more. So I'm like, okay, cool. I mean, like I was setting up a stream yesterday, and it was like asking me for the first time, like, oh, do you want to do 720p or 1080p or 1080i or whatever? I don't know.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I started to go 1080, and I said, you know what? No, I'll keep it 720 because most people are watching on their phones, first of all, which 720 is more.
720 is just 720 is fine.
And the reality is, even on a bigger screen, it's still fine. And the additional bandwidth that I'm always concerned. People have different internet connections and whatnot, and you have people who have signal issues to begin with. But now, if you like really tax that by giving them a 1080 line, it could be too much. So it's like, okay, just keep it 720.
So I did that, and for the stream, and it asked. So I said, let me just see what it is. What it asks. So what it ends up doing, it tells you, so if you want it, you have to pay the next plan. That's what it'll say.
Not for me, for 1080.
Yeah.
10 because it shows at the top. It's like there's three options: 720, 1080, and 4K. 4K has a notation next to it that it's the next. You got to go up here, but the 1080 is included in the base package now.
Yeah. So
I mean, ultimately, again, like I said, it doesn't. The only where I could see I might use the 1080 is for local recording. If I decided I want to record on it, like most of the stuff I don't record using it because I edit it.
Yeah.
I'm doing heavier editing, and so I record that usually with a different program, but locally on my computer, edit it and then upload it. But the few times where when I do stuff that's like short uploads, where I'm not heavily editing it, I do like recording and in being able, the ability to upload from their cloud directly to YouTube because it doesn't chew up the bandwidth the same.
Yeah, I
So,
agree. What's up, Hoarder's Hide? What's up,
yeah.
Wellbore? For
Greetings.
me, what I'm starting to take note of is the difference between what kind of viewership you get from a live stream versus a pre-recorded. And I'm starting to take notice of that during this time I've been taking off, of what exactly I want to do when I actually bring back my show. So, and I'm not 100% certain if my show is going to be a full live stream anymore, because of the amount of stuff I could create on the back end that still be worth watching, I would say, and I could also break it up. So what I'm thinking about is creating some kind of segment type of show where there's segments within the show. But when it premieres, it still premieres kind of like a live stream where I could still communicate through a chat or something like that. But if I'm not, let's just say I'm not
the
available.
premiere when you premiere it.
Yeah, but what I like that StreamYard does, it makes it acts as it's a live stream, kind of what Freaky Louie does.
It schedules
Yeah.
it as a live stream.
The schedule is that live stream, so it keeps the momentum of a live stream, even though it has pre-recorded content in it.
Yeah, it's the same thing as like you premiere something. If you pre-record something and put it and upload it directly on YouTube as a premiere, it's the same thing.
And you can still use the same live chat feature to go along with it, which is great. Because one of the things I'm starting to take more note of is how long does a video last while it's up? Like, what does it have an expiration time for? Where everybody watches the stream up to this moment. And what I'm noticing is like it's probably like a 2-day thing where people will watch it up to 2 days. And for me, it's more, I would like to see more people come on. Not so much because, I'm not looking for monetization of it all, because let's be honest, what money are you making? I think for me, it's more for the future things, like, going to New York Comic Con and stuff like that. That fun stuff.
Yeah, I mean, definitely there's a shelf life, more of a shelf life to the to the lives than.
Yeah. You get a lot of views that first couple of days, though. That's the benefit of that. But then after those days are over, that's it. You're not going to get more.
The difference I see for me is like the live streams typically have a greater average watch time.
I agree.
So if you're concerned on your watch hours at all, I mean I'm saying generically.
Yeah.
I think that in the average, it's probably about the same.
Yeah.
The longer duration with fewer views versus, depending upon how viral or how many views you end up getting with a shorter view time, it can be different. But, anyways,
stay away from
confused. Annual license, unassigned license.
So does anything interest you that's coming off of New York Comic Con yet, Rob?
I've seen a few posts, mostly from retailers, and none of their shit has like excited me all that much. Especially since most of them are just selling this stuff now.
That loses its luster, right?
Yeah, I mean the Alex Ross Batman thing, which is interesting, but I'm like, I can do without.
Well, there she is.
Hi.
So
I'm sorry. I apologize. You're dealing with her
Well,
feelings right now. It's okay.
I wasn't super responsive on the Johnny on the spot for her, so but I didn't have her pre queued up, but I was unfortunately a lot of things going on and I wasn't thinking, and I'm not paying attention to Instagram. My phone just goes ding 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 constantly like a teenage girl, and I don't pay attention to it most of the time. I only
he's like a teenage
periodically when I have a moment, I'll sit down and clear a ton of alerts and then move on. I actually got to try to figure a way to start shutting some of these alerts off because Instagram is starting to kill me.
I
Oh,
always have my Instagram alerts shut off.
Yeah, my alerts are
Well,
down to just notification with no sound.
That's the thing. That's what I'm actually talking about. Is so there's only most of the chats and groups and everything else are silenced. So I don't get that. It's at the top, like if I'm working and I pull down on the top of my phone where there's like all the notifications and there's fucking like 12, there is like 50 notifications sitting there to clear. And it's like, oh my God. And once if I go to one on the notification and I start looking on Instagram and read the message, I go through it's 27 times posting this, so, oh, look at that. Somebody posted their YouTube video 27 times. And then somebody liked all 20, somebody else liked all 27 posts, and it's like, oh, Jesus Christ. And then somebody tagged me in a post. And so I'm getting a billion notifications every time somebody likes or freaking comments on a post that I'm not really having anything to do with. They just tagged me because they really wanted me to, they tagged a whole bunch of people so that way people would go look at their post. It's like, oh my God.
The only times I've actually tagged Rob, like he said, is if there's a Rob involvement in something or something that he mentioned or something that interests him. But like, for example, like with C3, if it's like a C3 item or something like that,
sure,
stuff like that.
Oh, that's the other one. It's the other account, right? The C3 account too. So there's all the notifications that come for that, and it's like as I go to hit a notification, it's bouncing between accounts, right? And it's like, God, I don't even know. Then I start to post something or reply to something, I don't realize which account I'm on, and I have to delete that and go back and repost it because I'm replying from the wrong account or something. It's like,
or you're sending something like, hey, we don't want to say anything because it's Stephanie's birthday this week, so we're gonna do something special. Meanwhile, Stephanie's in the chat.
And then I get then the other is the people who want to have long-winded text conversations, and it's like, oh, yeah, I can't do that.
It doesn't want to make small talk.
Look,
Well,
I got big
big
hands and thumbs. They don't work in a small keyboard.
Yeah,
it's like,
I hear you. I wish I had pointy, spindly like fingers.
No,
like,
fatty fingers right there.
but then at the same time, what's even worse than people want to have long conversations is people who leave you 12 60-second voice messages.
Oh, that's a new one. I've been getting a lot of those lately.
Can we just have a phone call?
But
really,
how's this? I hate when I get a voice note from somebody, and the voice note is, "Yeah, I feel the same way."
Oh yeah, because they didn't want to type.
Like,
yeah,
your phone has the ability of changing that to text. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or you get a voice note, and then they repeat the same voice note over and over.
It's not much there, C Bizzle.
Who has more fluffier hair? Is it Madam or Jim? What's up, Jim?
Oh no, Madam has hair. I don't have any hair. I have like little gray streaks. Of
you got this nice look going on.
My hair is the fluffiest.
We have three.
Maybe down here.
Look at this. We got 3 generations of hair right there. 4 generations of different hair. I got what's going on here, but then when you go back here,
I want to know how to get the hair out of my ear to grow up here. That's what I.
Oh, that's a problem, Digger. As you age, your hair falls down.
It falls inward.
That's what somebody else told me, bro.
Ears, nose, back.
You don't need to go any further.
Anymore.
You don't need to go any further than that. We get the concept.
Did any of you guys? I mean, did you guys? I haven't been listening because I've been busy. But did you guys talk about the penguin? I saw that was the thumbnail.
No, I haven't watched. I think Mark wanted to talk about it, but the internet's been an issue.
I really haven't watched it either. I just watched the first 2 episodes.
Are you saying that Mark has DJ's internet now? That's
well, no, he wishes he had DJ internet.
Right.
Oh, if he wishes he had DJ's internet, then that's really a problem.
The problem is the internet's still being restored to him.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. So it's spotty, and it's at times it's okay, and at times it's not, and it's really kind of limited. So
Yeah.
it's actually it's probably works well enough if you're just doing generic surfing the
Yeah.
internet. But if you're trying to stream stuff where you need
You
that
need back and forth. You need to upload downloads.
that's where you have the issues.
Right.
So
Right.
when you start having massive packet loss and all kinds of other stuff. So
Well, I'm
first
just gonna
episode
call
was
it.
awesome.
Yeah, I'm gonna call it right now. This episode was probably my favorite.
It's so
Oh,
good,
really?
isn't it? It's
The
really
latest
good.
one?
Yeah,
Penguin's good.
because the kid in it, his sidekick or whatever you want to call it, really
Right.
had
Victor.
it focused on him. Yeah, Victor. It focused on him, but it was such a great story. It was where he had to come to grips with what he wanted, as a person.
Yeah.
And they really, it wasn't even about the penguin or about the drugs or anything. I focused on him because it was just such a.
Somebody else gave it the same review about what a great actor that kid is.
Yeah,
Like, he must have really delivered a great performance.
So what I really like about it is how Oz is playing him. Oz is totally playing him.
Well, he is,
but in a way that the kid doesn't understand what he's doing to him, because spoiler, when he tells the kid, it's like, you could have left any time. That's not what he said in the first episode.
No. But
you know what I mean?
And here's the thing, Izzy. I think we're going to see at the end of this, Victor go from this naive kid to now, I know where I'm at and I know what's happening and I know he's playing me and I'm still going to stay here because I want it all. I mean, he wants what he wants. He knows that he's come from nothing. Everything's gone, and now this is his path to something better. So
in his mind, at least. In his mind, at least.
Well, yeah, in his mind, but I mean,
because his girlfriend said it.
His
girlfriend said it best. There's nothing here anymore, and she was right.
Right.
There's nothing there for them. But he has a new life that at first came from a bad situation, which, to be honest, he caused, right? Because it's his fault that he's with Oz now.
Right,
right?
He got caught.
He got caught, right? It's his fault.
Right.
But then Oz, like I said, Oz has been playing him like a fiddle the whole time. Telling him, you could have left the whole time. Like, no, he couldn't, because you threatened him.
You said you were going to kill him.
Gaslighting him.
Yeah. So
pretty much.
And the thing is, Oz, what I gotta give it to Oz, because throughout every episode, you just don't really know what he's thinking. So inside his mind, he's doing things that are like 10 steps ahead of everybody, and you have no idea where he's going with it.
Yeah, I'll agree with that. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You definitely got that in episode 2.
In all of them, episode 1, 2. Remember what he did in episode 1 with the ring?
Right.
That was brilliant.
Right.
You know
I'm sorry.
what I mean?
That's what I meant. I meant the ring. I'm sorry. That was episode 1.
The ring was episode 1. The episode 2 was what did he do? With the knife.
Right.
When he puts the knife, you thought he put it on the other guy. Instead, he put it on the other henchman, which was
Right.
brilliant. Like, that's how you do it.
I mean, he's definitely playing chess. There's no doubt about it. But, hey, Justin.
What's up?
I got your stuff.
Oh, good.
So I'm going to open it up later and shoot a video and go, this is what Justin Birch sent me? God.
So to Hoarder's Hide's question, Robert Pattinson might not make it to the series unless it's the very last episode.
Yeah, I don't think he makes it at all, because I don't think that's what they want. This is not Batman and the Penguin. This is the Penguin. And I love how they're just putting little nuggets in from the movie. They're hey, shit blew up. Hey, stuff got flooded.
So
and
there's two things.
People.
There's two things about that. So you're right. They want to focus on Penguin's story and where Penguin leads to, right? But the other thing is that there's this thing going out there that they can't put Batman into a TV series. Like, there's this rights issue that they keep talking about. If you notice, whenever they do a Batman type related show, it's more about Gotham than it is about Batman, and we never truly get Batman. There's never,
legally they can't, right?
So they're because Batman, believe it or not, Batman TV rights are actually with Disney. Because when Disney acquired Fox, they also acquired the Batman TV series.
Now, here's the thing. I have not watched one single episode of Agatha yet. And I don't know. It's one of those ones that I'm going to just wait for it all to drop or whatever and then just be done with it.
I saw it. It's fun.
Is it all dropped?
Yeah.
No,
it's not finished.
Right. So
Yeah.
once
But
it's
the big
all
reveal,
done,
the reveal came this episode. There was a reveal this episode, but
and
not
that's fine.
I thought that people were reviewing that Agatha really sucks.
they're
you know,
mixed.
it's funny is people there's a group of people that are saying that. There's a group of people that like it, and then there's a good solid people that say, it's fine. It's not
fine.
I mean, it's not, oh my God, you gotta watch this. But at the same time, I think that my interpretation, again, I'm still only watched the first 2 episodes. I haven't gone beyond that yet because I've been tied up busy with other stuff. But my impression after watching the first 2 movies was like, okay, this is fine. I'll continue to watch it. I don't feel like it's. I feel like the people who are saying that this is like this is awful and stuff. I think that I feel like they're overreacting, or that they just want to they want to be on this pile of I want to hate everything type thing because it's not about whatever they want it to be about or whatever. It's not the hero that they want to have.
It's a target audience show. It's targeted towards a specific type of audience.
What's the audience?
Kids that are into witchcraft.
You, madam, it's targeted to you.
So if you like
I got a witchy bag in my kitchen. I'm pretty sure if I say something like words backwards and like take 10 ingredients and still up in the air,
if you ever watch the movie The Craft or stuff like that,
yes,
it's that. It's Hocus Pocus, that kind of stuff. That's the target audience. People that like that stuff.
Well,
right.
I'm just gonna wait. It's just not on top of my list. I'm watching so much other stuff right now. I just wanted to talk about the Penguin. I don't think that Victor is going to be Victor Zsasz. I don't. We could totally be wrong. I mean, where they're going with it, but something tells me this is a 2-part type of show where the Penguin uses him, but yet at the same time, you're going to see at the end he comes up in his thinking and maybe not stuttering anymore at the end of it. He's like,
he's always going to stutter, man. He's always going to stutter.
I don't know.
No, his stuttering problem is bad.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. It's really he has a huge. They're not gonna cure his stuttering problem.
It's DJ Lynx.
He's gonna be a little more confident, though. I'll admit to that much. But and you know what? It could be that he becomes Zsasz. I find that hard to believe.
Yeah,
but not. I think if he's put to the breaking point, he may eventually become Zsasz. So I think that's still a possibility. I don't think it's off the table. I wouldn't put him in. I won't turn him into Zsasz, but I don't think it's off the possibilities of him becoming Zsasz. If he becomes Zsasz, then I'm like, okay, he becomes Zsasz. You know what I mean? Give him some kind of reason to become Zsasz, but I don't see him with that kind of intention because Zsasz is not that type of character. You know what I mean? Zsasz is a clear up serial killer, and this kid ain't no serial killer.
Mm-hmm.
He may be a henchman, but he ain't no serial killer.
Gotcha. Well, I don't know. That's probably true. Like I said, I'm just enjoying what I'm seeing right now. As far as what Martin's talking about with getting a real Batman, I don't know what's a real Batman anymore. They've done so many different iterations of Batman. What's real? What's not real? I think it's like they're talking. You guys are talking. I hear different people saying today how much they don't like the absolute Batman. They don't like the way this is, and then you hear people going, "This is the coolest freaking Batman I've ever seen."
It's on 2 fences, right?
Yeah. And so can't Batman be whatever your mind conjures up to be Batman? I mean, you guys there's a lot of them out there that are like, look, the way they did it with Michael Keaton, he's the best Batman, or but the way they did it with the campy. I grew up with the campy Batman. I mean, when I was a kid, that's all we had.
That
and the damn cartoon. You know,
Yeah,
I mean,
well-
so
I think Batman's the one guy, the one character that every generation has a version of him that they love, and every version is different.
Yeah.
I think this is just another version of him.
I disagree. There is another character who every generation has.
Go Box?
No, God, no,
Voltron.
no. James Bond.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Very
Very
true,
similar.
Mr. Birch. Very true. James
So-
Bond. Oh my God. Mm.
My generation, James Bond is no James Bond.
How
Absolutely.
many Bonds have there been now? Like
Like,
10 practically?
no.
Like a lot.
Like 7 maybe, at least.
Well,
Don't
there's
say
the
you're
major ones.
twin.
Then there's a couple
One,
guys that were very
two.
one-offs.
Timothy Dalton, you don't think about him, remember?
Oh no, he's my favorite Bond, so I think about him a lot.
Wow.
Really?
When it comes
He's your
to
favorite Bond.
Yeah,
Wow.
those were awesome. I don't care what anybody says.
it wasn't
I
bad.
didn't say they were bad, but
wasn't bad.
I like Pierce
When-
Bronson.
I
I
mean,
like the most recent guy. What's his
If you
name?
can't say his name, you don't know who he is.
God damn it, Daniel Craig.
yeah, no, the absolute Batman thing. It's like I liked this. I liked what I was reading, and I liked the new interpretation. As long as you take it as that, it's obviously you're taking an element of what they had done with Batman recently, where you take away his money, so and make him. They're trying to basically trying to make him more of a street level, but. So it's interesting. So that can be potentially interesting, but at the end of the day, we'll see. It's like still okay. How did this street level guy then spend all this time learning all these different things? Oh well, he's got genius level intellect. Okay, well that's nice, but that doesn't mean how he afforded to go study all these different things and how is he? We'll see how it plays out.
Why doesn't
you
he
need
have
more
a
backstory? Is that
Wait.
what you're saying? You need more
No.
backstory?
Why doesn't he
Well-
not have a PhD with all the stuff he's done?
Well, he doesn't have the money. Who knows? I don't know. I mean, he's trying. Yeah, he's. Well, what we've established, they've established some backstory thus far, Jim, and obviously there'll be more as they continue to expand the universe. I get
Thank
that.
you.
I
Yeah.
don't. It's one issue, and you have to balance. I understand you have to balance a presentation of.
You learned it on
You learned it on
YouTube.
YouTube. Thanks. Yeah.
That's not a lie. You can learn anything on YouTube. Hand to God.
You have to balance the backstory with presentation of what the story of what you're trying to tell and hook the reader. I get that.
Yeah.
And I don't have a problem. Like I said, I enjoyed it. I enjoy where they're going with it. But I think as far as if you're talking about people who say like, oh well, it's not Batman. Well, a lot of people are used to just the billionaire Batman that can do whatever he wants and has unlimited payroll and trying to use his company to on one side to do something else. But even that has fallen by the wayside at times and stuff. So
It's too bad, like Steve Jobs or like someone with a lot of money or Jeff Bezos didn't decide to become Batman.
no, they never do. They just decide to become richer.
Yeah.
Instead of trying to none of them ever
But keep in mind, no one
decide
killed their parents.
that they
so-
want to help. They want to help society. They all want to just rape society. That's the general gist. But yeah, I mean, we'll see where it goes. I'm optimistic for it. Just a different level of stories, but at the end of the day, it's just
you just might as well just call it an Elseworld Batman because that's what it is.
well, that's
So
what it's.
the
Yeah,
new-
it's a different. Which is funny, given that DC just went and said like everything is everything all at once type thing,
Mhm.
but now we're gonna go ahead and now we got to split off something separate again. But
Yeah. So the way it comes out is that this absolute universe was created by Darkseid. So this is not the original This has nothing to do with the multiverse prior. This is Darkseid's universe that was created. That's where it leads off to. So, whatever it took to get to this level, I think it's fun. It's a different take on a character we love. That's how old 85 years old. You got to go
Yeah.
come up with some
No,
other
it's
things,
fine.
right? So
It's
Poor Rob.
will we see it the same way as we see Ultimate Spider-Man? Maybe, maybe not.
I don't think so, because I don't think that Batman's been broken from a storytelling perspective in the comics the same way that Amazing Spider-Man has been broken for 700 issues or 600 issues. But this whole thing is question. What ends up being the length of how long it goes type of thing will be a question. But it is interesting to see how this reimagining of a Batman type thing captured people's imaginations or whatever somehow and sold out. I mean, the first printing is like sold out all over the place. My shop, there was like only one copy on the shelf when I got in it after the store had been open for an hour. They had sold out of everything.
Really?
Yeah, except for stuff. Stuff was in people's full boxes. That was it. But then you get, like, what is it, the next Batman or whatever that they did, where nobody could care less.
I haven't read it, but I thought it was interesting how people were on the fence with it. Tell us your opinion, Taylor.
What's up, Smalls?
Listen, here's the thing. DC is going to quit the shit of the year and reboot everything of the year, because that's what they always do. They've got Future State. They've got New 52. They've got this crap. They got Vampire DC. They got
Absolute.
Yeah.
It's okay.
It'll probably be entertaining. Whatever. It's just.
I just look at it. It's a different spin. It's somebody's different spin on what they think Batman should be. Like it or not, there's people out there that would think Batman should be dressed in, all red and be very bloody, and who knows? I mean, there's so many different ways to look at him, and you make your choice on what you want to. That falls on to collect what you want to read and like. So, Digger with no hat and T-Dub with a hat. Damn, I feel like I need to go put a hat on now. I'm getting a complex, C-Bizzle.
The absolute.
I'm not
Legion
leaving the
Lair.
house without a hat. I know that.
Have you found anything cool lately, Jim?
No. I mean, I went to a house that I thought was going to be so good, and about probably 15 minutes in, I was like, wait a minute. I'm not finding cool stuff. And I started looking around more, and I realized I think they put like this much fill dirt and reseeded, and so let's put it this way. I pulled a really old like sugar top to a sugar container at like this deep. I mean, that's like a foot deep. That's crazy. I mean, that should never be that deep. And so that was a bust. I have some other places that I had a guy give me a yes to do his yard, but I'm holding off on that yard because when I was talking to him, I looked around and he had just seeded and aerated it. So I'm like, dude, I'll come back later. Let that seed get in there. I try to respect the landowner, especially if it's a yard. So, but I'll find some stuff. I got some things lined up. I just got to get some yeses.
So see, Bizzle, absolute Legion Lair. Mark is going to show up talking about he loves Marvel in the MCU.
Yeah, I mean, Mark scored big on the comic vet. Got that venom he always wanted.
Mark doesn't show up saying that Agatha's the greatest thing since sliced bread.
So Stephanie,
don't forget how much he loved the Acolyte.
Yeah.
Oh. Yes.
I don't have feelings, Stephanie. So what's it like to have a hurt one?
Well, I'll tell you what happened. My friend here, Taylor, said, where are you on Legions Lair? I'm like, well, I assume they're not doing it because I didn't get a link. And I figured because Mark's internet was probably spotty or whatever, maybe they just aren't doing it. Come to find out, no, in fact, it's happening. And no one has invited me. And I have to beg for an invitation. I'm backstage crying. My feelings are hurt. I'm hurt.
Oh.
Wait a minute. Are we going to talk about people being backstage for an obscene amount of time? Is that what we're doing? Because I recall yesterday I was backstage for a solid 15 minutes.
There was a show yesterday?
That was
was
Mike's
Trev's,
fault.
right?
Mike should have said something.
Maybe it was. I think it was Trev's, right? Something like that. I don't know.
I never get invited to any parties. I don't like to go to any, so it's fine.
Marcus, I'm happy you're here. Congratulations, you're getting a New York background.
Oh yeah,
All
the
right, well,
Royals.
kids.
I haven't even watched any baseball, so. I guess the
Yankees.
Royals-
Yankees won.
Yeah.
Royals are gone.
I appreciate you all coming and joining us this morning. In the absence of Mark, this is that to be able to continue his show. This is that time of the day where I have to go and do. Well, I've been on the clock for an hour. I actually have to go and do work now.
Boo.
So I
Work,
need to
work.
end the stream. I appreciate everybody coming out, and God willing, Mark will be back next week with a stable internet connection. I appreciate you joining us, Taylor.
Yeah. Like I said, Rob, if I had feelings, they'd be hurt right now. I'd show up and you're like, we're done with this crap.
Well, I mean, if you had to look at you, wouldn't you? end it?
That's true.
Yeah, I mean,
That's
there.
why I took down that mirror off my ceiling. I was sick of crying myself to sleep every night.
All right.
All right, guys.
That's
Everything, something. We are Legion. Thank you, guys, and support everybody. Collect things. Be cool. Don't be a dick. Well, wait, that's your line.
Yeah.
Go ahead and say it, Taylor.
Yeah.
Digging.
It's 2024. You can go ahead and be a dick.
Okay.
Spread like